So by now you've probably heard about that viral crochet queso this woman made. It took her around 130 hours and weighs 180 pounds. But you see, the thing that shocks me the most about this project is when you compare her sitting in it to queso standing next to it. How tall could queso possibly be? When she said this was a life-size queso, I thought it was an exaggeration because of how small she looks next to it, but it's not really. Anyways, shout out to the crochet ginger. The amount of dedication this kind of thing took, I mean, it's unreal. So a 24-year-old dude in France just caused an entire hospital to be evacuated, not because of a fire, not because of a gas leak, but because he had a live World War I artillery shell lodged in his, you know what. You just look at the x-ray. This thing was 8 inches long, dated back to 1918, and the craziest part, it was still live, meaning it could have detonated at any moment. So as doctors are mid-surgery, they see this thing, freak out because they realize what it is. The entire hospital had to be evacuated, and then the bomb squad was called in. All because of what this man chose to do, allegedly as a party trick. Are you kidding me? Now, luckily, the doctors were able to get this thing out without it exploding, and the man who caused all of this is being investigated for illegally handling military-grade explosives. If he goes to jail, he is done for when they say, so what are you in for? The craziest lottery story I've ever come across has to be the one about this old man. He won the lottery when he was 65 years old. It was around $3 million. And you know, when most senior citizens win the lottery, they probably just enjoy the rest of time and play bingo every day. But not him. This guy used his lottery winnings to fund a counterfeit drug operation and became one of the biggest drug dealers in his country. And it worked for a long time. The whole story's absolutely nuts. I just told the whole thing. You can go watch that video on my channel. So the clothing brand Supreme is going quite viral after they released a pretty unexpected product. It's a casket, a $3,800 casket. And after taxes and shipping, this thing costs over $4,500. Now, when I first saw this, I thought to myself, okay, no way somebody's actually buying this. They're not even going to be able to see themselves using it. It sold out in less than a minute. Who's buying this? Somebody's grandma is definitely going there this weekend. I did not expect to wake up this morning and see that World War III is trending on Google, which isn't the best thing. Basically, the US and Israel launched a massive joint military strike against Iran overnight, and Iran immediately retaliated. They're currently firing missiles at basically every country in the Middle East that has a US military base. Just look at some of these videos. This one's in Dubai, one of the safest cities in the world, and it doesn't even look real. A drone literally hit one of the most famous hotels in Dubai, setting it on fire. Flights across the entire region are grounded and people are being told to shelter indoors. The situation is evolving as we speak, and I really do hope everybody over there stays safe. I'll keep you guys updated. So there's this new app that's been going viral, and it might be the best thing to happen to humanity in a long time. It's called Nearby Glasses, and the entire point of it is to send users a warning whenever it detects that smart glasses are somewhere nearby. This is extremely helpful because it's going to stop this type of content where someone will film another person without their knowledge, and they often cover that light on the glasses that's supposed to let the other person know they're filming. It's really bad. Unfortunately, it's currently only on Android, but hopefully it makes a push for iPhone soon too, because those videos are such a problem right now. Guys, this is the most frustrating thing I have seen in a while. As you may have heard, there was recently a mass shooting at a bar in Austin, Texas, where 3 were killed and 14 were injured. And as the situation was unfolding and first responders were racing to get there, a Waymo vehicle completely blocked traffic, and they couldn't move past it. The entire video is like infuriating because it goes on for over a minute, and the Waymo literally will not move. An officer even tries to get into the car to move it himself, and he couldn't. I was never really a fan of these self-driving cars to begin with, but after seeing this unfold, I absolutely despise them, and they need to go. And if they don't go, there has to be a better way to move these cars in a situation like this. The cop couldn't move it. Are you kidding me? And when you need support in one of these cars, you have to wait like 5 minutes to be connected with someone who lives across the entire globe. It's so bad. So there's a pizza delivery guy who's been going viral after he successfully delivered 30 pizzas to the same address with all of them on his back while he was simultaneously riding this self-balancing scooter. Are you kidding me? If I had to guess, all of that pizza has to weigh at least 60 pounds. And he's having no issue with it. This has to be one of the most impressive delivery driver performances I've seen in my life. I've never seen something like this. Apparently he got a $100 tip and he deserved every cent. A man from Florida was just arrested after stealing loads of Pokemon cards, and the way he would do it was by grabbing the cards, hiding them in a 99-cent taco seasoning packet, and then scanning that taco seasoning packet at self-checkout. The whole thing was actually working out for him for a long time, to the point where he generated nearly $40,000 in profits. Unfortunately for him though, he finally got caught, and now he's facing up to 90 years in prison, which I'm not gonna lie, don't get me wrong, what he did was bad, but 90 years. That's kind of crazy for Pokemon cards. Diddy got 4. So everyone's been talking about the McDonald's CEO's review of his own company's burger because, well, in the review, it looked like he was absolutely disgusted by the burger and he was just trying to hide it.
That is so good.
Why is he lying?
That's a big bite for a big art.
That wasn't even a big bite. That was the smallest bite ever. Anyways, guys, McDonald's got flamed so much for this that they actually ended up totally deleting the video. But that's not even my favorite part because shortly after, Burger King posted this video of their CEO eating a Whopper. And as you can see, not only does this guy act like a normal human, but he also knew how to eat a burger. So ever since the McDonald's CEO went viral for his extremely awkward review of his own company's burger, it's basically become a trend for other fast food CEOs to review their own burgers the right way. First, it was the Burger King CEO with this video, then A&W CEO did his own review, and most recently, Wendy's did a burger review as well. They're like mocking him. I honestly feel bad for the McDonald's guy at this point because now he's just getting burger mogged by every other fast food CEO. I can't believe I just said burger mogged. The good news is I wouldn't be surprised if this actually helps McDonald's sales just because curious people want to try the burger. Like, I'm not gonna lie, seeing all of this go down, I kind of want to try it. So I recently came across this video of a guy who decided he's gonna start selling ad space on his toilet. Basically, he set up this little projector thingy that shines ads right onto the bowl, and he even made a whole pricing sheet for it, as you can see. Now, like most future millionaires, people called him crazy, but to their surprise, it's working really well. The video went viral, and before he knew it, a bunch of companies started paying him to put their ads on his toilet. Since then, over 10 companies have bought ad space, with the most recent company being Clorox themselves. I mean, it's perfect. So far, this guy has made $38,500 from ads on his toilet. What a genius. I wish I thought of this before him. Rare YouTube W, guys. They are bringing back direct messaging. I honestly didn't even know YouTube ever had direct messaging, but apparently they had it very briefly in like 2019, and they're finally bringing it back. Personally, I think this is huge, especially for shorts, because this was like the only short form platform where you couldn't send videos within the app, and it didn't really make sense. Now the only thing we need is the ability to see dislikes again. So a few years ago, I came across this video of a guy who shot a Nerf dart at his window to see how long it would stick, and today I found out that over 5 years later, it's still on the window. It's actually mind-blowing. This guy has been posting updates every single day. He even moved out of his house on day 913, but made sure to keep the glass that the dart was attached to. That's right, the dart lasted longer than the window itself. Today we're on day 1794, and somehow the dart is still standing. A lot of people have theories as to how this is even possible, with some saying that he put super glue on the end of the dart so that it would stick. But personally, my theory is that the rubber actually melted since it was on a window that got a lot of sunlight, and because of that, it's basically gonna stay there forever. Regardless, I'm convinced this guy's gonna keep posting for the rest of our lives. He hasn't missed a day. I do not think people realize how generational this one single iShow speed stream from a few years ago has been for the entire internet. This one stream single-handedly created so many memes like this one, My Mom's Kinda Homeless, probably the most well-known one. This one, and this one, probably more that I'm not even aware of myself. I remember a while back, people were complaining because this stream was ranking at #1, higher than Breaking Bad on IMDb's TV rankings, but honestly, you could argue that it deserves its spot when you consider what it's done for the internet. One thing that absolutely blows my mind is the fact that there is a whole generation of people right now who have no idea what it was like to write a paper before ChatGPT existed, and it's always gonna be that way. I'd say about half of the people watching this video are part of the last generation that knows what it's like to stare at a blank Google Doc at around 1 a.m. with a paper due the next day and no clue what to put down on that piece of paper. That was the most stressful feeling of all time. I honestly forgot what it was like. The first paragraph, and especially the thesis statement, was always the hardest part, but honestly, once you had the thesis statement, you would get into a little bit of a flow state where you kind of know where you're going with the whole paper. I honestly forgot what all of this feels like, though. It's pretty scary to think that there is no generation that's gonna have that feeling ever again. It was something else. So Apple recently announced a whole bunch of new MacBooks that they're going to be releasing soon, and I'm not here to talk about that, but since they made this announcement, they totally changed their social media strategy on TikTok. They like totally deleted everything and started over, but honestly, it is so much better now. They're actually being funny, which is really hard for a corporate company to do. They posted this video where a lime FaceTimes a lemon, and that's it. And I know you're probably thinking it's not that big of a deal, but guys, Apple's always been known for being like super nonchalant, mysterious, and professional on social media to try and uphold the brand's aesthetic. So for them to be doing this is a big step in the right direction. I love it. Whoever is running the Apple social media deserves a raise. Guys, Apple is dropping some new emojis in their next update, and this time around, as you can see, they're all pretty cool. Last time they did this, I feel like all of the emojis were pretty unnecessary, except for maybe the tired face emoji, but like the purple blob emoji was was so unnecessary. I don't know what situation would prompt that, and I still haven't used it once to this day, except for making this video. This time around, I feel like most of these emojis are pretty useful, especially this distorted face emoji. This emoji is gonna be a hit. I'm already predicting it. I will say it does blow my mind that Apple has some emojis for the most unusual things, but when it comes to something typical like a water bottle, you literally won't find an emoji for it. Like, try to find the water bottle emoji. I promise you it doesn't exist. It should. So I recently came across this video of a guy who was on an 11-hour flight and wanted to stay active, so he decided to run a 5K in the bathroom. That's over 3 miles of him just doing this non-stop. It took him just about an hour to fully complete the 5K, which means that this bathroom was totally unusable for a whole hour. If I were in that line, I wouldn't be mad because I'd probably just assume the person in there is really sick and struggling. But if I later found out that I was waiting there while they were running a marathon, that's when I'd be mad. So not too long ago, a group of police officers in Russia were carrying out an arrest, and as it was all going down and the suspect was being questioned, one of the cops just hopped on the suspect's VR game and continued to play it. Now, we don't know for a fact what the game is, but judging by the cop's motions here, I'm like 99% sure it's Beat Saber. I don't know much about that game, but it looks like he's killing it. I think the only thing that could make this whole situation worse for the suspect is if the cop beats his high score. That would really put the nail in the coffin. Guys, I think I just discovered the world's unluckiest person. It all started when this Baltimore Ravens fan tweeted out, "If the Ravens happen to trade for Max Crosby, I will completely shave my head." After he posted this, what do you know, the Ravens announced that they traded for Max Crosby. So, he shaves his head. He was a man of his word. The only issue is that a couple days later, the Raiders announced that the Baltimore Ravens suddenly backed out of their trade agreement for Max Crosby. Apparently, he failed a physical test, which totally voided the trade. And now this guy is stuck completely bald for no reason. So people online are currently trying to get Donald Trump's son Barron drafted into the military so that he can fight in what's looking like World War III. It's like an entire movement right now with hashtag #SendBarron trending on Twitter, and there's also a whole website for the movement called draftbarrontrump.com. People are posting edits of him like this one, but unfortunately for them, he actually legally can't be in the military. The height maximum to become a soldier is 6'8". I'm pretty sure this is so that every soldier can fit into all the military equipment, and fortunately for Barron, he is 6'9". I don't know how he's so tall, but lucky for him, he gets to escape this one. Guys, the end times are coming. Donald Trump just endorsed Jake Paul for political office. I wish I was joking. Roll it.
God's got us. Trump's got us. God bless. Love you, Kentucky.
And I just want to say, I'm going to make a prediction that you will be, in the not too distant future, running for political office. Okay? And you have my complete and total endorsement.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we are at war. Anyways, on another note, I do have to point out how crazy it is how much Jake Paul is sweating right here. Like, listen, I'm someone who sweats a lot, so I get it, but through the jacket that's a different level. One person I feel so bad for is this guy who one day decided to volunteer for a photo shoot, and he made the mistake of not asking what it was for. A few days after the photo shoot happened, he went online and saw this ad that said friendless and gay. There's an app for that. Yeah, his pictures were used for a gay dating website. That's when he tweeted this out saying, "This is the last time I volunteer for a photo shoot," without first asking what it was for. And honestly, this guy did kind of mess up by not asking. You always ask. Every day I think about this guy on Facebook, Devin Lilly, who I guess forgot his password on Facebook over 100 times. And that's why when you click on one of his accounts, he's friends with all of his other accounts for which he forgot the password. As you can see, each individual account has a different profile picture, although he's doing the same exact face in every picture. I gotta say, it's quite funny how many accounts Devin Lilly has created with the exact same facial expression in every single profile picture, but it's also quite sad what Alzheimer's can do to the brain. I'm assuming it's Alzheimer's. Shout out Devin Lilly, God bless you, man. So not too long ago, this guy was rushed to the hospital after he woke up and noticed that his entire body was turning blue from head to toe. The second he arrived, he was immediately taken to see a doctor and put on oxygen because they genuinely thought he wasn't gonna make it. Shortly after, though, the doctor wiped his arm, the blue came off, and that's when they realized that he was turning blue because of the dye in his new blue bed sheets. Apparently, he didn't wash them after buying them. The craziest part is that the doctors even told him that they had never seen someone that color who was still alive. I can't imagine the relief he must have felt when he realized he wasn't dying. A Florida jail is going viral after they posted this picture of handcuffs that were somehow broken out of by an inmate with sheer strength. Apparently, the inmate was having a severe mental health crisis, which is what led them to breaking out of their handcuffs like this, but I seriously still can't imagine how this is possible. Like, what did that inmate look like? Seriously, the only thing I can think of is those AI-generated videos of huge inmates in court. You know what I'm talking about.
I will welcome you
I just don't get this. His wrists have to be on fire right now. Today I learned about this guy who was a member of the looksmaxing community, and surprisingly, it was that community which left him looking like this. He was using something called a palate expander, which is a popular tool amongst the looksmaxers because it can widen the jaw and make the jawline look more defined. But as you can see, he clearly went way too far with it, which left him looking like this. Now, this guy is actually just one of many looksmaxers who actually ended up looks minimizing, and I just talked about all of them in my recent video, which you can check out right here on my channel. Well, guys, another celebrity is currently getting canceled for the dumbest reason ever. Basically, Timothy Chalamet, one of the biggest actors in the world right now, was having a casual conversation about how movie theaters are struggling to stay relevant, and to make his point, he used ballet and opera as examples of art forms that used to be mainstream but kind of faded out. He basically said nobody cares about them anymore, which is kind of true, and now the entire ballet and opera world is pissed. They've been going on rampages online, like trying to end his career, and since all of this blew up, his Kalshi odds of winning Best Actor at the Oscars have essentially cut in half. Now, the thing is, the votes for the Oscars winner were already in when all of this went down, so it's kind of weird that the odds changed, all because of a statement that is honestly kind of true, and trying to cancel him over this, there's bigger fish to fry. Personally, I hope he wins. I thought Marty Supreme was awesome. Today, I came across a content creator who was on a mission to go to every single McDonald's in the United States. So far, he has been to 422 McDonald's in total, but he has a way to go because there are 13,658 and more keep opening up as he's doing the challenge. To put that into perspective, if he goes to one McDonald's every day for the rest of this challenge, it will take him around 36 years to complete it. Because of this, I find it hard to believe that he's actually going to complete this challenge, but if he does, he deserves to go down as one of the most dedicated people of all time. That being said, I'm really looking forward to his McDonald's adventures in Alaska, Puerto Rico, and especially Guam, which is part of the US, but on like the other side of the world. Shout out to him for dedicating his life to McDonald's. I wish him good luck. Huge news for us, guys. YouTube just took a major stance against AI slop. They are now adding these surveys to AI related videos that basically ask the viewer if it feels like AI slop or feels like low quality AI. This seems like a huge step in the right direction, but at the same time, YouTube is fully promoting an AI slop creator on the YouTube Studio app, so I don't fully know if they're for or against it. It really makes no sense. So everyone's been talking about this video that an Amazon driver recently posted because every single package that was delivered to the house is just thrown out on the front porch and not even opened.
Look, all of them is everything we deliver. Look, it's still in the box.
A lot of people are coming up with theories as to why this is happening. Some people are saying the people living in the house must be dead, but personally, my best guess is that nobody is currently living there, and whoever owns the house is the victim of a brushing scam. Basically, that's when an unethical business finds your information, creates a fake Amazon account in your name, then they order their product in your name so that they can deliver it to your house and write a positive review. I am very curious what is the case. Regardless, it is kind of creepy. Well, guys, it was just announced that Meta is going to be shutting down its metaverse platform Horizon Worlds after they dumped around $80 billion into it. I'm honestly not surprised about this. I haven't heard a thing about it since it was first announced, except for that one interview where Mark Zuckerberg shares his favorite feature.
Have a favorite feature to use in here?
Yeah,
Something that you think is very cool?
Check this out.
Wow.
So that's pretty neat.
Honestly, that video clip alone might have been worth the $80 billion spent. One thing I find so crazy is this Facebook post from 2014 that a random welding company posted because they were doing welding work on Epstein Island years before the property became globally known. At the time, it appeared to be just another job. This guy even took a cool little selfie of himself with the building behind him. But looking back on it, this company was working on one of the most controversial locations of all time without even realizing it. I wonder how he feels about this now that he knows. Today I found out that I have lost over 3 million subscribers since creating my YouTube channel. Yeah, so I can check all of these analytics, and I've actually gained 11 million subscribers on YouTube, but since 3 million plus unsubscribed, it leaves me at this number. According to the data, around 700,000 of these subscribers came from closed accounts, another 700,000 came from other, which is not very helpful, and then the other ones just unsubscribed as they were browsing through YouTube. It's kind of crazy to think we could have the diamond play button if it weren't for those people. So that being said, if you want to help me gain them back and you aren't subscribed, I'm just saying, subscribe. Guys, we may have just lived through the largest Rick roll of all time. Let me explain. So basically, there's this massive nationwide standardized exam in India called the CBSE Maths exam. And for the 12th grade CBSE exam, which millions of kids were probably taking, there was a random QR code on the front page. That QR code redirected everyone who scanned it to a Rick roll video. Don't believe me? Try it. It will work. It's actually shocking when you think of the fact that this is a nationwide exam controlled by the government of India, and somehow that happened. Someone really messed up. My best guess is that some idiot used a free QR code generator without subscribing, so within a few weeks it redirected to the default, or it redirected to a prankster who put that as the link. Either way, this should not have happened. So there's a video that's been floating around of this guy in Florida driving his car, and as you can see, he looks strikingly similar to Jeffrey Epstein. Obviously, this video ended up exploding on TikTok, and surprisingly, it is not fake or edited. The dude in the video is just some random guy who goes by Palm Beach Pete, and he just so happens to look strikingly similar to Epstein. He ended up posting this video where he explains that he in fact is not Epstein. I actually feel bad for him because he seems like a super wholesome, nice guy, and a bunch of internet trolls are like harassing him, but he honestly seems super chill and he's dealing with it really well. So there's this restaurant in Atlanta called Nasty As Cheeseburger, and it was recently completely removed from DoorDash after this video went viral of what the restaurant looks like. Apparently it's being ran by a homeless guy, and he is operating from what is quite literally a shopping cart. I gotta say though, I don't know why people are surprised here. The place is literally called Nasty As Cheeseburger. What did you expect? At the end of the day, this isn't even false advertising. The guy's giving people what they ordered. Guys, the human species is actually devolving. The fastest growing account on TikTok right now is this account that is posting AI generated Fruit Love Island videos on an episode by episode basis. They have gained 3.1 million followers in just 9 days, and they're averaging 15 million views a video. Oh my god. And you're probably thinking, oh, this is probably just AI garbage that a bunch of 6-year-olds are watching. No, it's grown adults watching. Yup, 15 million grown adults clocking out of their 9 to 5 to see if the AI generated blueberry cheats on the banana with the kiwi. I wish I was joking. Flying cars, they said. Flying cars. Guys, can we please talk about how impressive it is how much influence this one man, Leonardo DiCaprio, has had on the meme world? I don't think there's a single person who has been in more memes than he has. If there is, then please let me know who it is, because Leonardo DiCaprio has been in this one, this one, this one, and this one, which he's probably not too proud of. The guy is like a walking meme. He has had so much influence on memes that they just artificially created a meme of him at the Oscars. I mean, this is just impressive. Now, I am really curious to see if this meme actually lasts and it withstands the test of time like the other ones, but also part of me feels like it can't force it. It'll be interesting to see. Guys, I can't believe the story I'm about to tell you is real, but it is. So this professional cornhole player who is a quadruple amputee was just arrested for murder after shooting someone with a gun. Make it make sense. And if you thought that headline was weird, just wait, it gets a lot weirder. According to the article, all of this went down in a car that he was driving. After things got out of hand, no pun intended, he dumped the body in a yard. Luckily, authorities found out, and he is now facing some serious time in prison. As crazy as this story is, I'm very glad he got caught, but boy do I have so many questions, and I'm sure you do too. This one came out of nowhere. OpenAI just announced that they're going to be completely getting rid of Sora, which is really weird because it came out only like 6 months ago. It's especially shocking because this was one of the most popular AI video platforms out there, but I'm not complaining. Less AI video platforms is a win. A lot of people think that the main reason for this is just how expensive it is to run a platform like this. Regardless, I will not be missing videos like this one where you guys would make me obese. There was videos of me doing makeup. There was so much, guys. It had gotten way too out of hand. So there's a picture of ICE agents filling in for TSA at the airport that's been going quite viral because, well, they look like teenagers. It's making a lot of people wonder how easy is it to get a job as an ICE officer, or how good is the training program. Now, I'm not here to determine any of that, but I will say when I first saw this picture, I thought it was 2 kids dressing up for a Halloween party. It doesn't look real, especially the kid on the right. He looks like the most experience he has is 350 hours on CSGO. So there's this random seller on Depop, which is basically like eBay for clothes, and they've been going viral because for everything they're selling right now, they're using a cardboard cutout of Moist Critical to model it. I think my favorite part about this is the fact that it's women's clothing, so he's modeling like a skirt or a tank top. But nonetheless, it seems to be working. They've sold a few of the products that he's modeling. I will say though, I would be quite creeped out having this thing in my room. I mean, just imagine trying to go to bed, you look over in the corner, and boom, you just got Moist Critical staring at you against the wall. So this video of 7 dogs walking on a random highway in China has been going viral because the story behind it sounds like something straight out of a Disney movie. So not too long ago, all 7 of them were kidnapped from their homes in a small village, and they were put into a truck that was apparently on its way to a dog meat shop where they would be turned into dog meat. But somehow, all 7 of them managed to escape from the truck while it was driving on the highway, which brought them here, eventually making their way back to their village where they were all returned home home safely. Hey guys, John from the future here with some horrible news. That whole story was completely fake. It went viral, spread like a wildfire. Everybody was talking about it. Nobody realized it was fake. It finally came out that the whole story was made up. I honestly wish I didn't find that out. Guys, I made a big mistake and pissed off Rockstar Games, the last people you want to piss off. Long story short, not too long ago I made a video about the kid who leaked GTA 6, and when I was talking about him, I showed about 2 seconds of some of the content that he leaked, and about a week after posting that video, I got this notification from YouTube, which, as you can see, is a strike from Rockstar Games. I did not mean any harm. I did not expect that to happen. I will not do that again. I should be all good, but if not, subscribe before I'm gone, because over half of my viewers aren't. So I recently spoke about this AI slop fruit Love Island account that's been taking the internet by storm because it's gained over 3 million followers in just 9 days. And boy, do I have some good news. They just commented saying that they are losing motivation, and their reasoning for this was that these videos take too long to make. What's taking long? Typing the prompt in? I don't get it. They also went on a crazy crash out on their story where they like cursed all of their viewers out, so it's not looking good for them, and I'm not complaining. Well guys, it was bound to happen. Clavicular, the world's most famous looksmaxer right now, was just arrested for the 2nd time. When the news first came out, everybody thought this was because he shot an alligator in the Everglades on stream, but it's actually looking even worse. His booking shows that he was charged with battery. Apparently it's related to a separate situation which happened a while back where he told his girlfriend to beat up another girl for content on stream. It's a long story, but it was really bad. I think my favorite part about all of this is that the police department listed him as 5'11", despite the fact that he claims to be 6'2". I wouldn't be surprised if he's more worried about that coming out than the time he's facing in prison. Guys, I think I just came across what has to be the worst Google Chrome extension ever created. It's called Mr. Beastify, and all it does is put Mr. Beast on every single YouTube thumbnail you see. The worst is when it's a serious video like this one about a war, and you just got Mr. Beast on the side with the biggest smile on his face. Same thing on this one. Here's what my profile looks like with it activated, and I'm showing you guys this so that you do not download it. Seriously, creators spend so much time on their thumbnails, and anyone who's downloading this is essentially just ruining all of that work. That being said, I am deactivating it now. I will not miss it. Well guys, Tiger Woods was just arrested for driving under the influence after this rollover car crash in Florida. In all seriousness, it's really sad to see because this isn't the first time this has happened. In 2017, he was also arrested for a DUI, so yeah, this is not his first rodeo. Luckily, it does not seem like he's facing any major injuries, as he was even seen standing here on his phone after the accident happened. Now, the last time this happened, his mugshot became a viral meme overnight to the point where even he got a kick out of it when this guy wore it on his shirt. So it will be interesting to see if this next mugshot lives up to the same hype. I really doubt it will, but it hasn't dropped yet, so I guess we'll find out.
Just a good old boy.
Oh my goodness, this might be one of the most disgusting things I have ever seen in my life. Putting ranch on pizza? Are you kidding me? That should be illegal. I don't think I'll be able to recover after seeing that. One of my favorite things is when thieves steal a massive amount of the most random thing ever, and it just happened again. A bunch of thieves just stole more than 12 tons of Kit Kat bars while they were being transported across Europe. This is so many Kit Kats that Nestle even came out and said that it could cause shortages ahead of Easter. Whenever something like this happens, I wonder what in the world the thieves are gonna do with their supply. Like, what is their plan? You can't just sell that many stolen Kit Kats. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Nestle just made up this story for marketing purposes, but if not, I do wonder if it was the same guys who stole $80,000 worth of whipped cream in Canada not too long ago, because that one did happen. One thing I find so crazy is the lengths to which GTA 6 fans have gone in order to learn more about the game. They have picked everything apart. I recently came across this video of some guy who was watching the trailer and noticed that they were making music in the background, so he decided to remake the exact beat that they had made in the game. It sounded like this. I swear to God, if they delay the game again, it is this dude's fault. Anyways, here are some of the actual songs we think could hit the GTA 6 radio with their Kalshi betting odds. All good songs, I'm not complaining about any of these. And then these are the songs that are confirmed to be in the game already. I cannot wait. Do you guys remember the Willy Wonka experience that was hyped up to be this incredible event for Willy Wonka fans, as it was marketed with these colorful AI-generated images? And then it turned out to be a massive disaster because it looked like this. And people paid for that. Well, it basically just happened again. This time around, it's the Barbie Dream Fest, which was just held in Florida. Barbie fans from all over traveled to Florida to step into what they thought was going to be Barbie's pink paradise. And instead, they got this. not at all what they were expecting. I think this girl's expression really says it all. One person online said that they spent around $1,000 in total to be there between their hotel and ticket, and as you can see, this looks like something that should be no more than 10 bucks. She also mentioned that the only thing in the so-called swag bags that they were given was Dollar Tree hand sanitizer with the word Barbie slapped on it. It's actually pathetic that this happened. All of it's also so surprising considering the fact that, unlike the Willy Wonka experience, this was an official event. I just feel bad, man. These people deserve refunds. This is horrible. A man from California who was arrested for stealing a car and had a scheduled court date was arrested again after he appeared to that scheduled court date, and you guessed it, another stolen car. Here he is being arrested. Oh my goodness. How dumb do you have to be? I guess he's gonna have another court date really soon, and for this one, hopefully he's learned his lesson. Today we're going to talk about things you should never ask AI. Believe it or not, ChatGPT knows pretty much everything about you since you probably tell it everything. So if you tell it to make a movie poster about your life, it will use everything it knows about you to make something that you may or may not be ready for. I was not ready for mine. If you ask it to generate an image of what the world will look like in 100 years, the output will also be slightly concerning. Obviously, it does not look positive. And if you ask it to show you the seahorse emoji, it basically loses control completely, spamming like every single emoji except the seahorse emoji, trying to find the seahorse emoji without realizing that the seahorse emoji actually doesn't exist. I guess the AI just can't figure it out. I ended up asking AI many more of the things that you should not ask it so that you don't have to, and you can check it out right here on my channel. So there's this new game that's been blowing up throughout schools all over. It's a spin-off of Five Nights at Freddy's called Five Nights at Epstein's. Now it seems like the entire game is almost identical to Five Nights at Freddy's. The only difference is that you're playing on Epstein's properties and you have people like Epstein, Trump, and Stephen Hawking scaring you. Now, a lot of news outlets have been making segments like this where they talk about the game and warn parents about how students are playing this at school, but I'm afraid that they don't realize these news segments are literally just promoting the game. I saw one of these segments being posted on TikTok and literally every single comment, it was just kids saying they want to play the game now. Do you guys remember that trend of raw dogging flights, which is basically where people would go on a flight and then just sit there doing nothing the entire time? Then they would post a time lapse as proof that they did indeed raw dog that flight. Now, as boring as that sounds, believe it or not, someone just dropped a flight raw dogging simulator. And you guessed it, all you do in this game is sit and stare at the back of a plane seat for the entire duration of a flight. I feel like there is a simulator for just about everything these days. I don't get it, but hey, subscribe. Maybe I'll put myself through hell and try it out. Today I learned that this celebrity named Taylor Lautner married a woman who was also named Taylor, so once they got married, her name became Taylor Lautner as well. And they recently announced in this Instagram post that they're going to be having a baby. The caption on this post says, "What's better than two Taylor Lautners?" Basically implying that they're naming the kid Taylor Lautner. There's going to be 3 Taylor Lautners. I can't imagine how confusing that household's going to be, but honestly, they got to go for it. That'll be legendary. Guys, we all owe KSI a huge apology. I just listened to his song Thick of It for the first time in like a year, and I enjoyed it. It's actually a good song, and I can't believe I'm saying that because when I listened to this a long time ago, I thought it was terrible. Anyways, the official anthem for the World Cup was recently announced. Everyone's saying it's not a good song. I kind of agree. And now everyone is saying that KSI's song should be the one used. And honestly, I could get behind this. I feel like KSI's song fits so much better. It really would work. One thing I don't think I'll ever understand is the Playboy Cardi subreddit, because I don't think I've ever seen a post that's actually related to Playboy Cardi. For example, one of their most popular posts is this guy saying, "My uncle finally got arrested for something really bad." And there's this guy asking if he's trim. I don't even know what this one entails or if it makes sense when you translate it. They were the first people to inform me when the Pope died, so I'll give them that. And more recently, they made sure to inform everybody that Tung 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 Sahur is now in Fortnite. You really just never know what you're gonna get in r/Playboy Cardi, but surprisingly, it's never Playboy Cardi. Guys, this was a close call. The entire world was just tricked into thinking that Jonathan the tortoise, the world's oldest living land animal, was dead. It all started when this post from Joe Hollins, one of the veterinarians who took care of Jonathan for a long time, surfaced. It said that he was heartbroken to share the news that Jonathan had passed away after around 193 years of living. Immediately, this post started getting a ton of traction to the point where other accounts online were posting the news about his death. Even the BBC and Daily Mail reported on his death. Everybody thought he was gone. But it turns out they were fooled. That Joe Holland's account was just some random person pretending to be the veterinarian, and they somehow fooled the entire world. The real Joe Holland's got a hold of this information, and he made sure to let the news know that Jonathan the Tortoise is very much alive and well. He even said it wasn't even an April Fool's joke. The person was just a scammer trying to get crypto somehow. Anyways, I'm just glad Jonathan's alive and going strong. It's good to hear. Guys, an NBA team just did an April Fool's joke that backfired so much to the point where they had to apologize to the entire fan base. It was at a Wizards game where they pulled this guy out from the stands and they told him that if he makes this blindfolded half-court shot, he's gonna win a bunch of money. $10,000 to be exact. Then they told everybody to freak out like he made the shot once he misses the shot. Of course he misses the shot, and they make him think that he made the shot. He's freaking out like he just won $10,000. The mascots are going crazy, and then they tell him April Fools. The video ended up going viral because of how brutal the prank was to the poor guy, to the point where the Wizards had to apologize. They told everybody that the entire thing was scripted, and even the guy who missed the shot was in on it. So it actually wasn't him who got fooled. It was all of us who saw it happen. So by now you've probably heard about NASA's Artemis 2 mission, which recently launched, but what you probably didn't hear about is how after a successful launch, the toilets in the spacecraft malfunctioned. They were not working. Now obviously these aren't just your typical toilets, since gravity does not exist in space. Instead they use some sort of suction system, and apparently one of the fans that's supposed to help with that suction was broken. These toilets also cost around $23 million, so this was an expensive issue. Luckily they were able to quickly fix the issue, but it really makes me wonder, what if they couldn't? What do you even do in that situation? On another note, the spacecraft just took this picture from space. Explain that, flat earthers. Explain it. The other night I was watching Donald Trump address the nation live on YouTube, and then out of nowhere some guy donates $200 and says, "Dear Trump, please say Bitcoin." Clearly this guy had a bet on Kalshi that Donald Trump would say Bitcoin, which by the way was only a 2% chance, and I guess he thought Trump would just stop everything to read the YouTube super chat and answer his question like this is some gaming stream. Needless to say, this guy did not cash out on that, but there was a guy who put almost $20,000 on no, and he made $400. Definitely a bit on the riskier side though, because like, what if he does say Bitcoin? What do you do? Guys, I can't even believe I'm making this video, but Tung 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 Sahur is officially in Fortnite. Do you guys realize how crazy it is how far this genre of AI slop has gone? I remember the first ever time Triple T originated on the internet when this guy, one of the original Italian brain rot creators, posted him. That was a little over a year ago, and somehow this AI generated meme has managed to stay so relevant that he's now in one of the world's largest games. I don't get it. What even is he? Like the other ones, you know, it's a crocodile, cappuccino, but this? I have no clue what this is. So by now, if you haven't been living under a rock, you definitely know about the 12 tons of Kit Kats that were recently stolen in Europe, and Kit Kat just posted an update where they had to clarify it was not an April Fool's joke, it was just really unfortunate timing. And because this is no joke, they ended up creating this website that helps them track the Kit Kats that were stolen, where basically if you get some Kit Kats, you can enter your batch number and it will tell you if they were stolen. The website also shows that 413,793 Kit Kats have been stolen in total, which makes me think they have to find these at some point. I feel like it's not easy to hide that many Kit Kats. Anyways, I really thought this was a PR stunt to begin with. I guess not though. I'm invested now. I'll keep you guys posted. Subscribe. Throw back to 2020 when this 12-year-old girl from Brazil had a birthday coming up, and so she asked her brother to plan her a K-pop themed birthday party. Her brother said yes, but the thing is he actually had no clue what K-pop was. And as a result, on her birthday, the girl walked into a room full of North Korean propaganda. There was a huge banner with Kim Jong-un wearing a birthday hat, and then a custom cake that had 7 tiny Kim Jong-uns on it. The brother's defense was that he didn't know any K-pop bands, so he decorated it with the most famous Korean he knew, which is kind of funny when you think about it because this is the one Korean who bans the music she wanted to celebrate. Luckily, the brother did say that she loved it though, and clearly he did put some effort in. I will say though, this has to be an original experience. Like there is no way that there's ever been another North Korea Kim Jong-un themed birthday party ever. There's no way, at least outside of North Korea. So everybody online has been going crazy over this video of a parrot scuba diving in the Bahamas, just having a good old time after his owner created a parrot submarine for him. Now obviously a ton of people did not believe this at first when the video dropped, saying it's AI generated because I mean it is a parrot scuba diving, but the owner later came out with an update video where he shows not only his parrot but also the custom submarine he built for him. He also shows every feature of the custom submarine like the air cylinder attached to it to prove that the parrot was indeed able to breathe. I gotta say the worst part about this new AI era we live in is that someone can can do something as cool as building a submarine for their parrot, and everyone's just automatically gonna assume it's fake. But he proved it wasn't, and I gotta say, this might be the luckiest parrot ever. I don't think any other bird has gotten this experience. Today is day 6 of NASA's Artemis 2 mission, which means that it's the same day these astronauts are orbiting the moon. It's being live streamed right now, and it's kind of crazy to think that this is just happening somewhere while I sit in this chair making this video. The astronauts on board literally just broke a record for the farthest humans have ever traveled from Earth. This is one of the most recent pictures they just took of the moon. I'm just kidding, that's a tortilla. This is the actual picture. And then there's this clip of a jar of Nutella floating past the camera, which might just be the best accidental ad of all time. I'd be surprised if Nutella doesn't do anything with that. Anyways, they're getting quite close to the backside of the moon as I make this video. I'll probably drop another update soon. Subscribe. So not too long ago, I talked about the spin-off of Five Nights at Freddy's called Five Nights at Epstein's, and how things have gotten so out of hand with kids playing this game in school to the point where news companies are making segments about it that literally look like something out of a South Park episode. Now, I've actually never played Five Nights at Freddy's myself, so I don't really understand how it works, but I needed to see what all of the fuss was about with this game, so I decided to give it a shot. And safe to say, I will never be playing a game like that again. If you want to check it out, I just posted the video right here on my channel. A few years back, this guy was going viral on TikTok for the fruit videos he would post on what looks like his farm, and then people realized that he didn't speak any English whatsoever and would respond to every single comment with these emojis. As a result, this is what many of his comment replies looked like. My child was kidnapped. Have you seen him? Please, please help me. My father died. I'm being held hostage. I have hemorrhoids. My grandpa had a stroke. I was forced to eat my brother's kidney. My guts are falling off my body. So yeah, as you can see, this guy had no clue what was going on. He seems like such a joyful, happy guy though. I'm sure he didn't mean any harm. So one of the fastest growing scams right now is North Korean hackers posing as Americans on LinkedIn so that they can interview for jobs, hopefully get hired, and then steal money and send it back to the regime. Now this type of fraud has made North Korea hundreds of millions of dollars, but one man online may have just found the perfect way to immediately find out if you're about to hire one of these scammers. Basically, he posted this video online where he asks one of the scammers a very specific question.
So one of the tests that we do is trying to get them to say something like, Kim Jong-un is a fat, ugly pig. Could you say that for me?
Yeah, and after being asked to say that, as you can see, he gets super uncomfortable, and ultimately, he just does not do it. He tries to avoid it in every way possible, which basically blows his cover. Now, apparently, the guy who posted this has talked to a few different North Koreans, and he said he's yet to come across one who will actually say it. So for now, the method is not patched. One of my favorite things ever is when random old YouTube videos from like over 10 years ago just start getting recommended out of nowhere. And that's exactly what's been happening to so many people, including myself, with this video right here. I wonder why. The video is just a really old commercial for a company that is selling some sort of certain wood paint, and I guess this is their mascot. It's like prehistoric Triple T. I think my favorite comment on this video is the recent one that says, it's like seeing a character in season 1 that isn't important until season 8. Anyways, yeah, the YouTube algorithm is something else. On today's episode of That's Actually Not a Prank Bro, I just came across a story about this YouTuber who was arrested after yelling gun in a movie theater for a prank video. Apparently police originally let him go, but he ended up being charged after he actually ended up uploading the video. I think my favorite part about all of this is that one of the top comments on his most recent video says, how is bro still not getting arrested? It's like he spoke it into existence. Anyways, I covered some more of the worst pranks ever posted online in this video, so if you want to check it out, you can watch it right here. Hello and good night to everyone except people who skipped school today, people who are in New Zealand, and people wearing a suit. Oh no. People who are currently laying down on their right side at this very moment while they watch this video. People who got into an argument with their teacher today in their 7th period science class. People who are watching this video on a 512 gigabyte silver iPhone 17 Pro Max. People who have a beard, the first name Michael, the last name Storin, and are commonly referred to as Majestic due to a running joke on their YouTube channel that was created on January 12th, 2013 and has accumulated 4,692,500 533,793 views since it was created. And lastly, people who watch my videos often but have not subscribed yet, don't worry, you have 3 seconds starting now. One thing I find so unbelievably fascinating is how generous the Costco return policy is. Apparently there are no strict time limits whatsoever, which leads to returns like this one. That's a TV from 2002 being returned in the Big 24 2 years ago. Here's another one. It's a TV from the year 2000 being returned in 2020. And we got these mattresses. I don't even think I need to explain this one. These nasty couches that look at least 10 years old. These nasty cabinets. It's actually crazy. And on top of no strict time limit, most items can be returned for a full refund, even without a receipt, since purchases are tied to that Costco account. It's actually crazy and sometimes quite disgusting. But yeah, if you're thinking about buying something, but you're still not sure if you want to return it 20 years from now, Costco is where you gotta go. This is not an ad. Throwback to 2004 when 2 college students pulled off what may have been the greatest prank of all time. It all started when Harvard and Yale were about to face off in a college football rivalry game so heated that these guys spent nearly a year planning the prank. They recruited about 20 classmates, forged fake Harvard IDs, printed Harvard Pep Squad t-shirts, and then once they got in, they showed up to the Harvard side of the stadium like they were working there as the Pep Squad. Then they handed out big red and white cards to about 1,800 Harvard fans. They told them that when they held those cards up, it would spell Go Harvard, and those fans were all about it. So when halftime rolled around and it was time for them to raise their cards, it spelled out We Suck, not Go Harvard. The best part is that most people involved left the stadium without even realizing it happened. Obviously, the whole prank went viral. These guys became campus legends, and it's still being talked about to this day. So there's a new style of TikTok pranks that's been going viral, and it's already getting a little bit too out of hand. Basically, what someone does is they take a picture of another person's car in a parking lot, then they use AI to make it look like the car is smashed, stolen, or being stolen from, and then they find the person who owns that car, show them the AI picture, and act like they saw it all go down. But one guy decided to take things to the next level when he decided to do it to cops. Like this video where he shows the cop his car getting stolen, the cop sprints out of there and then realizes, wait, it didn't get stolen. He then made another video where he shows a different cop his car getting stolen from. The cop ends up walking out of there, checks everything in his car, super confused, and that was his last video doing it because when he tried to film the next one, he got arrested. I wonder what the official charges for something like this are, but anyways, I had a feeling it wouldn't last too long. If you're living on the west coast of the USA, there might be a toilet paper shortage coming very soon, and it's all because this moron threw a hissy fit and decided to burn down a 1.2 million square foot warehouse that houses toilet paper. That one guy caused literally all of this destruction, and he even posted this video of him doing it on Facebook, essentially outing himself as the one responsible, while complaining that the reason he's doing this is because he's not getting paid enough. Like this is gonna magically fix the issue. The whole video and situation is crazy. If you want to see everything I just posted this video, you can check out on my channel. Boy, do I love stories like this one. The manager of an alcohol-free pub in Scotland, which is not a very common thing in Scotland, was just arrested for drunk driving. This was the pub he managed. It was called Sober. It was pretty popular in the area, and not long ago he was discovered slumped over his steering wheel after crashing his vehicle nearby. You know, I have a theory that the reason he made the Sober bar popular is just so that he could have more alcohol for himself, or he was drinking just so that the other people didn't have to. Who knows? Guys, we have a new trend that's starting to pick up online, and unlike many of the ones I cover, I can actually get behind this one. Scientology speedruns. A bunch of TikToks are going viral where these people will literally just run straight through the Scientology building and then see how far deep they can get into it before getting caught and kicked out. Typically, I'm not a fan of these pranks where people just throw those glasses on then bother people for views, but when it's Scientology, I think we can all agree they deserve it. Anyways, since so many of these videos are going viral, that means more and more people are gonna try and do it, so I'm excited to see where this goes. Someone told one of the creators to get 30 people to do this with them, and I'm just waiting for that. I also want to see how far someone can go. What does the top floor of the Scientology building look like? Is it like Tom Cruise with a final boss health bar on him? I bet you we'll find out though. In 2011, this random guy hopped on the internet and posted a picture of him eating a donut captioned donut number 7. For 13 years, nobody thought anything of this. The world kept spinning and life moved on. But then 13 years later in 2024, out of nowhere, a reply appeared. It was from donut number 8. It said, "I'm so scared, man." Every single day for over a decade, donut number 8 had no idea if it would be the last. I actually told this story a while back, and you won't believe who wrote the top comment. That's right, donut number 9. He said, "Stay strong, brother." So Donald Trump has been going viral after he posted this now deleted AI-generated image where he is healing someone with his hand. He seems to be floating, and he looks strikingly similar to Jesus. Now, after being questioned about this whole thing by an interviewer, he mentioned he thought he was a doctor in the picture, not Jesus. As if doctors have gold beams firing out of their hands while they float in midair with a red cape on. The funny thing is, this isn't even a first. Last year, he posted this one where he's the Pope, and that one hasn't even been taken down. Now, I'm not one to really get into politics. I'm more fascinated by the fact that this is the stuff kids are going to have to learn about in their history books. 10, 20 years from now, there's going to be a whole section in the books about presidential AI slop. Crazy times we're living in. So Rockstar Games just came out and confirmed that they were hacked yet again after this hacking group known as Shiny Hunters threatens to leak a bunch of GTA 6 plans. Luckily, Rockstar responded to this saying that it's a limited data breach and it has no impact on the company or their players, which makes me think we shouldn't see another delay. The Kalshi betting odds for that 2026 release are also holding steady, so it's looking like we're gonna be okay. The only thing that slightly concerns me is that the same hacking group came out once again saying they're gonna publish the data they stole since their demands haven't been met. I'm pretty sure they're just asking for money, but God, I hope they don't ruin it for all of us. Well, guys, Vitaly, yes, the same streamer who was stuck in that Filipino prison for almost a year, is already in the news again, and he's in big trouble. This time it's after one of his predator catching streams went horribly wrong, and he repeatedly accused the wrong guy of being a predator. In the video, they're harassing the guy, screaming at his face, and Vitaly was even yelling out racist remarks right in front of him, to his face. I'm not going to show the clips in this video since the victim has requested that everything be taken down, but sadly the damage has been done. The videos are everywhere, and I really hope that this guy sues the hell out of Vitaly. He has since apologized and requested that everybody online delete the videos, but let's be honest, that is not going to happen, and I really hope Vitaly pays the price. One of my favorite pranks on all of YouTube is when two guys posted a video called Toy Story 3 Prank. It was 14 years ago, and what they did was take the entire Toy Story 3 movie, and then they went through and edited the movie so that it ends at the worst point where they're all like about to die. They just have it fully cut to the credits right after this part where they're all about to fall into the fire. Then they tell their mom that they want to watch Toy Story 3 with her, and she sits down, watches the entire movie just for it to end like this. Mom was in complete disbelief after seeing this. She couldn't believe this was a Disney movie. And the best or worst part is that they waited till the next day to tell her it was a prank. They made her go to bed thinking that was the end of the movie. She was quite relieved when they finally told her in the morning, but I can't imagine how depressing those 8 to 12 hours would have been. A few days ago, some random guy hopped on Twitter and said that Nickelodeon accidentally emailed him the entire Avatar: The Last Airbender movie. He dropped a tiny clip from the movie, not the whole thing, and a lot of people didn't believe he actually had the entire movie. So that's when he responded saying, "I wasn't kidding about it being the whole movie." And then he drops the entire movie on Twitter. I'm not sure how you accidentally email the movie to a random person, but someone at Nickelodeon is losing their job. The funny thing is, this is not even the first time. I remember a while back, Nickelodeon teased the new Plankton movie, saying Plankton the movie releases on Netflix on March 7th. And that's when another random dude comes in responding and says, actually, it releases now, and just dropped the whole movie over an hour long. Someone's got to work on their security. So by now, you've probably heard about how Clavicular, the world's most controversial streamer right now, overdosed on stream during a night out, was rushed to the hospital, and then put on life support. Luckily, he ended up being okay, and he has since made it home, but it was a very close call. And since making it back, one of the first things he posted on his Instagram story was a promo for the club that he is opening up tonight, the day after he overdosed. Now, he did say he's going to be taking it easy from now on, so hopefully he stays true to that, because the life he has been living is truly not sustainable at all. I really think if he keeps going the way he is for another year, it's not going to look good. I already made a long video about this, but I truly think that if he even goes for another year the way he's been going, it's not going to be a good outcome. So a couple pilots might be in some trouble after they were treating the air traffic control chat like it was an Xbox Live party. It actually can't be real. Just listen to this.
You guys, you need to be professional pilots. Meow, 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 meow.
Yeah, that was apparently a real interaction. Now, the FAA did say they're promising to investigate this meowing because obviously air traffic control is extremely serious, and that probably shouldn't be happening on it. Now, they aren't fully sure if these viral audio clips are real. I guess someone could easily fake this, but if they are, I mean, I am worried about Gen Z because I feel like stuff like this is going to be happening in every serious job. For the past few years, the biggest question on the internet has been, who is the GOAT of Uber Eats? I mean, you got man G, who, as you can see, has put up some incredible numbers since he started with 100% satisfaction. Then you got Bobier, also amazing numbers, knows a bunch of languages, and now there's new guys on the block like Pickup and Drop Off. Literally, his name is what he was born to do. Pick up and drop off. Now, guys, to this day, nobody can seem to agree on who the best of the best is, who the GOAT is. That is why I pulled together 5 more creators who you probably know so that we can talk this out and settle the debate once and for all. If you want to check it out, you can find it right here on my channel. Really good news here, guys. David was literally just arrested in connection with the death of the 14-year-old who was found in his Tesla trunk months ago. All of that happened back in September, and since then, we hadn't really heard much about the case, which was quite concerning, but it looks like investigators finally found enough evidence to arrest him once and for all. So many of you guys have been asking me for updates on this case since I posted the long video about him a while back, and I literally could not give an update because there wasn't any. That being said, I'm very happy I'm making this video. I'm happy justice is finally seemingly being served, and I will keep you guys updated. Remember that random American YouTuber who decided he's gonna go to North Sentinel Island so that he can film a vlog with the uncontacted tribe, and how he ended up leaving Diet Coke and coconuts to them as an offering, but they actually just never came out, making his whole vlog a failure? Then he got arrested and put in an Indian prison where he's been for the past year. Well, I have an update for all of us. His next court date is coming up, April 29th. He's facing around 5 years in prison, and after this court date, we're probably gonna get a better idea of what his punishment will really look like. I'm really excited to hear what happens. I'll keep you guys updated. I still don't understand why Diet Coke, but I will say if I were on the marketing team for Pepsi, I would totally run an ad campaign talking about how if he left a Diet Pepsi, they might have actually came out for the vlog. I actually prefer Diet Pepsi, not gonna lie. Today, I came across a story about police having to break into a 91-year-old woman's home because she wasn't answering the phone, she wasn't answering any texts, and she wasn't answering the door. It got to the point where the whole family was panicking, thinking she may have died, but once police broke in, they found her in her bedroom just playing video games. She was apparently so dialed into some game trying to beat one of her records that she just fully ignored every single communication and the police knocking on her door. You really just gotta respect the dedication here. This is one of those stories that you guys probably wonder how in the world I find. And well, actually, Bob sent it to me. I recently found this website that has a feature called Wingman, and I set up this wingman named Bob who texts me every morning with the latest news, fails, and whatever weird, crazy things happen overnight. It's made my life a lot easier since Bob can doom scroll for me, and I don't have to do that work. The first story he sent me was this one, about the gamer grandma. It took me like 5 seconds to set up Bob, and I can set up another assistant to make pretty much any other aspect of my life a lot easier. So yeah, if you want to make your own Bob, go to Emergent today and set up a wingman yourself. A few years back, there was a viral trend on TikTok where businesses would pretend someone got the wrong order, and then afterwards they would do this. The videos were obviously all planned out, they got a ton of views, and they were quite funny. But then one day, this cannoli store at a mall decided to hop on the trend, and this happened. Obviously, that one did not go as planned, and a few weeks later, this picture surfaced. The business was gone. At least they got a viral video out of it. Guys, I recently found myself a new hobby. It is reading old people's Facebook bios. They're hilarious because these people have no clue what they're doing. For example, this one says, I have nothing to say in what is new. All I know is I have a very unpleasant granddaughter. Then there's this one that just says pasta. One of my favorites, I love God, my family, my president, and my country. I have high blood pressure. Then there's this guy who just put his Burger King order in his bio. It's a solid order. This one says, Judy, call me, and then I think it's supposed to say I lost your number, but she just totally botched the typing. I guess Judy's in trouble though. Then there's this one that just says seafood. Her and the pasta lady probably wouldn't get along. And lastly, one of my favorites that said, I recently learned I've been taking the wrong medication for some time. Thank you so much for letting us know. Well guys, David was just charged with first-degree murder and also a bunch of additional charges that I don't even want to mention because of how disgusting they are, and he ended up pleading not guilty to all charges, which is unbelievable unbelievable when you think about how much evidence the internet was able to find before authorities even did. Unfortunately, he apparently has a really good lawyer. I do think it's horrifying that a lawyer would even take this case and defend it, but I do have faith that it will not work out for him. I'll keep you guys updated. So the airline company JetBlue just completely exposed themselves after their Twitter admin accidentally admitted to using kind of shady pricing tactics. It all started when someone tweeted out, "I love flying JetBlue, but a $230 increase on a ticket after one day is crazy." Then JetBlue responded saying, "Try clearing your cache and cookies or booking with an incognito window," basically admitting that they raise flight prices for people whose browsing history suggests that they need one. The worst part is that JetBlue later deleted the tweet when they realized they kind of exposed themselves, which just makes it look way worse. Really good news, guys. David, who has been in the news quite a bit lately, is now in one of the most dangerous jails in the United States. According to TMZ, he's being held in a segregated jail cell and he's escorted to the showers every other day. He's only given 3 hours of recreation time with fresh air per week, and he has no TV access and no contact with visitors or other inmates during assigned recreation time. Another source also claimed that his cell is dirty and smells. Sounds like genuine torture, and he deserves every bit of it. One of the top comments on my most recent video says, "Bro called the Avengers to debate Uber Eats employees." If you don't know what he's talking about, he's referring to my video about the Uber Eats Goat debate. More specifically, the conversation between Manjeet, who has this many deliveries and this satisfaction rate, and Bo Beer, who has this many deliveries and this satisfaction rate. Now, Manjeet's been delivering since 2023, and Bo Beer's been delivering since 2019, but Bo Beer also has significantly more deliveries, and that's where it gets complicated. Now, based on this information, I hope you can tell how important this debate is. It's really hard to tell who's better. Therefore, I had to call up all of the Avengers so that we could figure this out once and for all. It's an important debate that requires important people. If you want to check it out, it's right here on my channel. Guys, the Scientology speedruns just keep getting worse and worse. We kind of called this one. I said it in my last video that once these first few went viral, it's only going to get worse because more and more people are going to keep doing it, and that's exactly what happened. Another group of guys posted this video where they go through the side doors in what might be the deepest Scientology speedrun recorded. They came in blasting air horns, made it upstairs, back downstairs, and they even met up with Shannon.
Get out of the building now! You're trespassing! Get out!
She apparently runs the place or something. She's essentially famous on TikTok now as the angry Scientology lady. People are also now drawing out maps of what we know the Scientology building looks like so far. I'm excited to see where things keep on going. It's only probably gonna get worse for them, and they deserve it. I fully support this. So not long ago, I made a video about how the airline JetBlue completely exposed themselves after this guy tweeted out, "I love flying JetBlue, but a $230 increase on a ticket after one day is crazy." Then they responded telling him to clear his cache or cookies or book it through an incognito window, essentially just ratting themselves out for something called surveillance pricing, which is when the company uses personal data to raise prices. That tweet got deleted. The person probably got in trouble, but the cherry on top is that they're now being sued because of this interaction. Whoever runs the JetBlue social media has to be having the worst week ever. The worst part is that the guy mentioned he was trying to make it to a funeral. That was the data they had. Honestly, I feel like every airline does this, so it shouldn't just be JetBlue getting in trouble, but it's kind of funny how they got caught. So not too long ago, this video went viral of a SWAT officer scrolling through a dating app during the middle of a SWAT raid. Apparently, they were in the middle of a standoff with an armed suspect, and this guy was seen just casually scrolling through Hinge. Now, I might be missing something about this, but on every post I've seen about it, people are defending the guy. This guy said, "Why does it matter?" Another person said, "Who cares?" And this person argued that everyone uses their phone while they're at work. I think it's a little different when your work is a SWAT operation. Okay, it's one thing if you work in an office, but the suspect was active, armed, and he's just behind the car scrolling. I don't know. So by now, you've probably heard about the shooting that happened at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and since then, this video has been going super viral because as everyone was freaking out and panicking and ducking for cover, there was one dude who just didn't care. He just sat up and casually continued to eat his salad while everything was going down. Like it's just dinner and a show now. Apparently, it was a pretty expensive dinner, so I guess he just didn't want to let that plate go to waste after paying so much. He also probably realized he wasn't the target, so he knew he'd be alright. Regardless, he's one of the chillest dudes to ever live, I think. Guys, we may have just witnessed the best Scientology run yet. I thought it was over, but no, it looks like things are still just getting started. This time around, it's a bunch of people who are dressed up and they got Jesus leading the pack. He yanks on the door nonstop, doesn't care about security. They finally get through and everybody scatters. There's literally nothing the people in the building can do at this point. They made it so deep into the building, I don't even know how many floors they got up, but it looked like absolute chaos for whoever is in charge of the place. It is literally literally gotten so out of hand that Scientology buildings are now taking off the door handles so that nobody can pry through them, which I'm pretty sure is illegal because of like fire hazards, but I guess they have no choice. I love when the internet comes together to do something awesome like this. Absolute cinema. Guys, this might be the best story I've told in a while. There's a guy on TikTok who's been going viral because one day he decided to go to this restaurant simply because he thought it had a funny name. He walks in there, he meets the owner of the restaurant. She's this really sweet lady, and nobody had been in the restaurant for hours before he came in. He ends up ordering his food. It's incredible, and then she decides that she wants to give him his meal for free out of the kindness of her heart. He ended up paying anyways by just dropping the cash and leaving so that she had no choice, and later on he came back in, talked to her about her story, and that's when she told him that she is homeless. After hearing that news, he decided to start a GoFundMe for her, and since then it has raised $120,000. And because of how viral these videos have gone, the restaurant is now packed. Honestly, she deserves every bit of this. All because some guy thought a random Vietnamese restaurant had a funny name. Pretty crazy how life works. Guys, I recently got my hands on one of the smartest devices ever created. It's these glasses right here. Now, these look just like regular glasses, but once you turn them on, boom, a bunch of features pop up like the camera, navigation, AI note-taking, InMo AI, and real-time translation. It really is so weird seeing this screen for the first time. I still don't understand how it's possible, but yeah, these record meetings and lectures automatically, then give you a complete summary as soon as it's over. For the past week, I've been cooking and haven't needed to use my phone once because these can also answer just about any question, and I'm a pretty horrible chef, so this is very helpful. It's actually crazy how fast they translate too. The other day I watched a Chinese YouTube video to test this out, and it was the smoothest thing ever. And if you pair it with the InMo Go speaker, it AI clones your voice into 78 different languages.
你好，我叫约翰，你今天过得怎么样?
Yeah, that was my voice speaking a language I don't even know 2 words of. Navigation also shows up directly in your view, which is super helpful for navigating big cities. I think one of my favorite features is that the battery swaps out magnetically in like 5 seconds. Just like that. There's also a camera cover that comes with these, which is a very smart feature to have these days. Oh, and the teleprompter feature. It's literally what I've been using to deliver this entire video script, scrolling through it with this ring right here that pairs with the glasses. They're called the InMo Go 3. They're $499, and you can learn more about them at the link in my bio. A while back, this guy went quite viral because he would go to his community's town hall meetings and then just silently break dance when it was his turn to talk. He wouldn't say a word, everybody would just stare at him with a straight face while he was dancing on the floor in silence. The best part is that it didn't happen only once. He has an entire YouTube channel dedicated to posting every community town hall meeting where he break dances. He later mentioned in an interview that the reason he does this is to bring more attention to the issues that he's passionate about, such as the community's taxes, and I guess you could say it's working because now I'm making a video about it. I will say I love this guy's confidence. He has a tough crowd almost every single time, and he just keeps on going. On today's episode of things China created that literally nobody asked for, a Chinese car company just patented a voice-activated toilet that slides out from underneath your passenger seat. Yeah, here it is. This is the actual patent. Apparently, you can talk to this car and you just gotta say start up toilet function, and it slides right on out. And don't worry, it also has a fan and exhaust pipe to deal with the smell and a heating element that evaporates the waste. Look, guys, this is just another one of those incredibly absurd stories you are probably wondering how in the world I'm even finding, and I was able to find this story with an app that I made on this website. Every single morning it scours the internet for all kinds of crazy stories, even the ones happening over in China, and then it just drops the most unhinged things that happened overnight straight to my phone, saving me so much time. It hasn't missed once, and the cool thing is you can create your own app that does literally anything to make your life easier. If you want to check it out, head to Emergent and build your own. So not too long ago, some guy on TikTok got a new job, and then he posted this picture that said, just started as a social media manager. Can you guys please blow up only the most recent post so they think I'm way better at my job than I am? He definitely didn't expect this to happen, but that post ended up getting 3.7 million views, and everyone flocked to the account that he was running as the social media manager. And that most recent post, which was his first, ended up getting almost 1 million views, 100,000 likes, and all of the comments had his back. Someone said, I like this, nothing before this, but like just starting now. Someone said, what a jump in social media quality. Another person said, this specific video and everything after has influenced me. None of the older content though. though. They might have made it a little bit obvious as to what happened. The owner may have found out, but regardless, it's cool to see how the internet came together for this random guy to help him out with his new job. Go back to 1998 when there was a massive anti-drug campaign in schools all over America where these pencils that say "too cool to do drugs" were handed out to students. Now, whoever designed these pencils was not the brightest because it didn't take long for students to realize that once they sharpened it just a little bit, it said "cool to do drugs." Sharpen it a little bit more, then it says "do drugs." And then even more, it just says "drugs." So yeah, they realized that 75% of the time, these pencils are actually just promoting drugs, and it wasn't long after that they recalled them. Although, guys, I am being silenced. Let me explain. As you probably know, I've been covering the Scientology runs that have been going viral, where people break into the Scientology building and run through it so that they can map out more of the building so we know what it looks like. Now, I've been posting these videos all over the place, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and TikTok seems to have a problem. After one of these videos where I'm covering the situation blew up on TikTok, getting around 1 million views, they totally took it down. The reason for this violation was violent and criminal behavior. They're basically telling me that I was promoting that sort of violence despite the fact that I'm just reporting on it. I'm just talking about what's going on. I may have jokingly said I could get behind this because, you know, Scientology kind of deserves something. But regardless, I find it so weird that it took a few days for the video to get taken down. Usually when it comes to TikTok's guidelines, they take your video down within an hour of posting it if it violates guidelines. In this case, it took them like 3 or 4 days, which leads me to believe someone manually did it. Now, I'm not pointing any fingers, but does Scientology have a close relationship with TikTok? I don't know. I'll leave that up to you guys to decide. New rare aesthetic unlocked, guys. Getting put out on a stretcher and rolled through a hospital in Germany because you decided to try the new Grimace Burger. That's right, McDonald's is releasing a limited edition purple cheeseburger in Germany. It's part of this limited time Grimace menu that they're dropping, and while the other stuff doesn't look that bad, God bless anyone who tries that cheeseburger. That purple cheese is undoubtedly going to send at least 10 people to the ER. Anyways, I don't know if you guys remember the last Grimace Shake TikTok trend a few years back, but it was interesting to say the least, and I'm curious to see what happens with this one. So if you haven't been living under a rock, you definitely know about how Spirit Airlines totally went under. They're going out of business, and they already had their last flight. But this creator has been going viral because he came up with an idea and posted this video, where he basically suggested that if we got a bunch of people to pledge the average fare of a Spirit Airlines flight, we could all collectively buy the airline and ultimately save it. The video ended up exploding. It got way more traction than he'd ever expected, to the point where the website he made for people to pledge the money totally crashed. The website's back up now, and so far they have pledged over $88 million. Now, it is important to keep in mind, pretty much anyone can say they're going to send a certain amount of money and then just not send it. So it will be interesting to see how much money can actually be made through this and how many people actually follow through. Regardless, I think this is awesome. I'll keep you guys updated. I talk about IRL money glitches on here quite a bit, and today I think I came across the most unusual one ever. A man from California was arrested for stealing over $34,000 worth of Lego pieces, and the way he did it was by going to Target, buying the Legos, taking them home, replacing the Legos with dried pasta, and then he would take them back to Target and return them. And when the employees at Target shook the box, it would sound like Legos because it's dried pasta. You really can't make this one up. I gotta say, I respect the creativity. It's kind of smart. Obviously, he got away with this for quite some time because $34,000 of Lego pieces is a lot of Legos. My favorite part about all of this is that the police department's caption on their story about this said everything was awesome in this Lego crime spree until we got involved. If you've watched the Lego movie, you know that's a great line. This will be my last video about Scientology runs, but I think we just found the most creative one yet. I don't even know how to feel about it. A couple guys got a bunch of little people, and they just stormed into the Scientology building. It's actually the most chaotic thing I've ever seen. I also haven't seen this room that they were in. I guess we unlocked a new room. But anyways, I have so many questions. How do you even set something like this up? Is there like a website where you can hire a bunch of little people to do whatever you want them to do? Seriously, this one just, I'm out of words. So not too long ago, this woman went viral after she received a racist comment from a random guy online. Little did that random guy know he messed with the wrong person, because she found out everything about the guy, exactly where he worked, and then she drove 3 hours to his work to fully confront him.
I was that person that you commented under. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Crazy world. You see how easy I found you?
After finding out that this was indeed the person who left the racist comment, she drops this bomb on him.
I'm gonna give you the opportunity and apologize, or I'm gonna show your wife the ground that I cannot get.
Yeah, this woman had time. She did her research. Needless to say, he ended up apologizing.
I do apologize for my actions.
So everybody's been talking about the legendary 72-in-1 Barbasol shampoo, conditioner, body wash. I'm not going to read the other 69. If you want to check them out, you can read this yourself. Now, I'm going to be honest, I was only aware about the 13-in-1 until my good friend Evan posted this video where he finds the 72-in-1. I will say the only slight confusion I do have is the fact that the Queen of England is included in the 72-in-1. Last time I checked, she is no longer with us, which would technically make this a 71-in-1. I'm just saying. Still great versatility, but it's worth noting. So this luxury cruise ship is currently stranded in the Atlantic Ocean, and it's not allowed to dock because of a massive virus outbreak on board. It's called the hantavirus, and it's a rare disease that's usually spread by rodents like mice and rats, and the cruise was on its way back from a polar expedition from Argentina, which is where they think it all started. Now the thing is, this isn't just any cruise either. It's an exclusive luxury cruise with prices ranging from like $10,000 to $20,000 per person, so definitely not what anyone expected. So far, 3 people have already died, multiple others are in critical condition, and around 150 passengers from 23 different countries are stuck on this floating hellscape. They recently finally got permission from the Spanish government to dock at the Canary Islands, but then the president of the islands was like, hell no, and I don't really blame him. And the scariest part about all of this is that a few people who were infected by the virus actually left the ship and traveled home before anyone knew it was hantavirus. So these people left with the virus, went on planes with God knows how many other people, and now health officials are scrambling to track everyone down. The good news is that while this is a pretty deadly virus, it's a lot harder for it to be transmitted, so hopefully things here do not get out of hand, and hopefully everybody on board gets home safely. So by now, pretty much everyone and their grandma knows about the luxury cruise ship stranded in the Atlantic Ocean with nowhere to dock because of the hantavirus outbreak on board, and well, a bunch of people just dug up this old tweet from 4 years ago. Now it's going super viral because it says 2023 Corona ended, 2026 hantavirus. Who is this person and what do they know? I have no clue, but it's kind of concerning. The Kalshi odds for if we have a pandemic this year have also gone up quite a bit this week, which is also concerning. But if I had to guess, I think we'll be okay, even though some infected people left the ship. This disease, despite being way deadlier than COVID, is a lot harder to transmit from one person to the other, so fingers crossed. Wow, okay, so Canvas, one of the largest educational platforms on the internet used by thousands of universities and schools worldwide, was just completely hacked. This is the message that was showing up on the website a short while ago. It's this group called Shiny Hunters taking responsibility for it, and they're now threatening to leak every single school's data unless the school contacts them privately and pays them. They're telling everyone that they have till the end of the day, otherwise all of the data gets leaked. The craziest part is that all of this is going on during finals week for so many schools. Harvard, Duke University, Penn State, Indiana. Schools are basically gonna have to cancel classes because of this. My school was also affected. We were on Canvas, but luckily I graduated. This isn't my problem. If anything, my data gets leaked and you guys find out what my grades were in college. Here's my GPA. I'll just settle it right now.
That's really what the World Health Organization fears as the number of cases in the past 24 hours rises from 6 to 7.
I wonder if they knew what they were doing with this clip, because it got 1 million likes. 1 million likes, and every single comment is pointing out what we are all thinking. I feel like this was calculated. So not too long ago, this Ring camera footage went super viral online of a neighbor extremely concerned. He kept on hearing the guy he lived next to screaming help from his own apartment.
Help me! Somebody help me!
Obviously, that's a concerning thing, especially if he knew the guy lived alone, so he decides to break the door down completely. Now, the video cuts off right as he does barge towards the door, probably because it broke the camera, but once he broke the door down, he just found out that his buddy was playing Ark Raiders, and he needed help in the game. Probably had headphones on. Regardless, though, even though the neighbor broke his door, you can't be mad at him at all. This is a great neighbor, and that was the right thing to do. Or after he barged in, he saw the game, grabbed the controller, and made sure to win it for him. I don't know how Ark Raiders works, but that's a funny thought. Jokes aside, shout out to this guy, Neighbor of the Year. Well, would you look at that, guys? Another cruise ship just had another massive virus outbreak. What is going on? You already know about the hantavirus on that small luxury cruise ship, but now we have another one on a much bigger ship. This time it's a norovirus outbreak with around 115 people being infected, and it's all happening on the Caribbean Princess, which is currently on a 13-night voyage through the Caribbean. It sounds like absolute hell for everyone on the ship. Now, norovirus is also known as the stomach flu, you know, diarrhea, vomiting, all that fun stuff. And while it is highly contagious, we are a lot more familiar with it and how to stop the spread, so luckily it won't turn into something crazy, or at least I don't think so, knock on wood. But anyways, I don't know if I'll ever go on a cruise ship ever again. First it was the hantavirus, then it was the norovirus. I don't know if you guys remember the poop cruise video I made a while back where everyone was stuck on a poop infested ship. That sentence sounds crazy. You would understand if you watched the video. So yeah, no cruises for me anytime soon. Today I came across one of the more disturbing videos I've seen in recent days. The caption says Meta LED light removal, and it shows this guy who's meeting someone to pay them so that they can take the LED lights off of his Meta glasses. Now, if you're not familiar, the LED light only turns on when you're filming so that other people are aware you're filming. And throughout the whole interaction, this guy seems so nervous as if he knows he's up to no good. I mean, what good could you be up to if you're removing the light from these glasses? As you can see, the guy selling this service, who is also just as weird as the guy buying it, gets some sort of mini drill that successfully broke the light. Every single person involved in this interaction I just saw is incredibly weird for what they're doing. It really sucks that this is even possible to do. I mean, I'm almost at a point where every single time someone I don't know wearing glasses walks up to me, I gotta really investigate them because you just never know. Guys, I think my week is ruined. I don't know if you guys remember this video where a judge recognizes her middle school classmate in court.
Did you go to Nautilus for middle school?
Oh my goodness.
Then he broke down in front of her because of how embarrassed he was, but he ended up turning his life around. They ended up reuniting, and both videos of the judge recognizing him, then them reuniting, went incredibly viral. It was a wholesome story. But guys, today I came across this video. Apparently 1 year ago, they came face to face in court again. I came across this comment from 3 years ago on the original video where someone says he actually turned his life around and he was managing some pharmaceutical company. So seeing this update from 1 year ago is honestly heart-shattering. He couldn't even look the judge in the eye, and the judge even said that he has to have another judge take on his case because she couldn't handle it herself. Anyways, I just really hope this isn't the end of the story. Today, the Pentagon dropped the UFO files. That's right, on this website, war.gov, we now have access to a bunch of photos and videos and eyewitness reports from the FBI, NASA, and the Department of Defense showing unexplained objects spotted by military pilots and astronauts over the course of decades. Some of the most notable in the files that people are talking about are this one of some random star-shaped object floating around, and then there's this one of a bunch of objects that were spotted by astronauts on the moon. One of the weirdest pictures is this one that is described to be a controversial photograph of a strange dead being, supposedly the member of the crew of a UFO that crashed near Mexico City in the 1950s. They say the creature was transported to Germany for examination and was never seen again. Personally, I'm not buying this. It seems like an absolute joke. Maybe I'm crazy. I think all of this happening, plus the convenient time these files were released, is just a distraction from, well, other files, we'll call them, and a war that's going on as we speak. But aliens! Oh, aliens. Guys, North Korea just updated their constitution to require an automatic nuclear strike if Kim Jong-un were to be assassinated. The revision was made during the Supreme People's Assembly not too long ago, which is basically where all of the officials meet up and pretend they have a say in all of the decisions being made. Now, the good news is I don't think any country is dumb enough to assassinate Kim Jong-un. I mean, just look at the guy. I think he's got 10 years left max before a heart attack. Plus, there have been numerous recent reports about his declining health. Now, what would suck is if they think that him dying of a heart attack is an assassination somehow. I mean, just imagine the world ending because Kim Jong-un couldn't put down the potato chips. The butterfly effect is weird. One of my favorite things in the world is outrageous fake news headlines that some people somehow still manage to believe. Like this one that said North Korea executed 2 young men for creating AI fruit videos. Some guy commented, I can't find anything about this online. And well, that's because they don't really have the technology in North Korea to be creating AI fruit videos. It is pretty funny the way people responded to this, though. It's the first time people were like, you know what? North Korea might not be that bad after all. This person said, I'm actually okay with this. Maybe they truly are a people's republic. North Korea kind of been on a win streak this year, and turns out he's the good guy. Yeah, those AI fruit videos really struck a nerve in a lot of people, and I don't blame them for being upset at the AI fruit. So in honor of the hantavirus, which has been a big topic lately because, well, nobody wants to relive COVID, I want to talk about a few pictures from the COVID era that really just bring me back. Starting off with this one where a baby was being baptized, but they had to keep their distance, so the pastor got a water gun and decided to baptize the baby at an appropriate distance. Then this one of my favorites, the Baskin-Robbins ice cream cone mascot trying to figure out how in the world he was an essential worker. At least he was protected from the virus. Can't forget when the kids playing flutes cut holes through their masks so that they could keep the masks on while playing the flute. Don't know how that one makes sense, but I don't know how a lot of things at this time made sense. I remember if I sneezed in public, people would look at me like I just pulled the trigger on a grenade in front of them. not fun. Hopefully we don't gotta relive it. If you're ever having a bad day, just think about this woman. She's a professional poker player who's had a fear of flying throughout her entire life. So in the year 2000, she decided to hire a therapist to get over her fear of flying. And then the therapist died in a plane crash. I'm not even kidding. I hate to drop that bomb, but that's actually what happened. I mean, the universe really just committed to the bit there. Now she only flies by rail or boat. And I don't blame her. If that happens to me, it would be a sign from God to never hop on a plane. So not long ago, I talked about how Canvas, the education website used by thousands of schools worldwide, was completely hacked. And how the hackers mentioned that this was the second time they did it because Canvas ignored them the first time and decided to try and fix the vulnerabilities themselves, which obviously did not work. They were also threatening to release data from pretty much every single school using the service, but luckily Canvas did announce that they reached an agreement with the unauthorized actor involved in the incident. It definitely would have been a disaster if all that data did come out, but I will say my data wouldn't have mattered. All you guys would have seen were my grades and maybe some discussion posts that I totally wrote without the help of any outside software. One thing I find hilarious is when people admit to doing illegal things because they want to brag about it online. And that's exactly what we saw with this post online where someone was bragging about how they got their DoorDash for free. It says shout out to ChatGPT, shows the clearly cooked chicken that they received, but then they told ChatGPT to make it look raw, and this is what it looked like. Then of course they submit the AI image to DoorDash complaining their chicken was raw. DoorDash gives them a refund, and then they basically stole their dinner. The best part though is that DoorDash saw the video, then their admin leaves a generational comment. Oops, should have blocked us. Probably banned them on DoorDash. And then the creator tries to play it off as if their chicken was actually raw. Like, what do? You just admitted to it. You really gotta be a piece of work to not only do this, but brag about it online. What a world we live in. So not too long ago, this wedding photo shoot got a lot of attention because during the photo shoot, out of nowhere, a kid starts drowning in a lake nearby. The groom noticed what was going on, jumped into the lake without hesitation, and saved the kid from drowning. And the photographer was there to capture pretty much everything that happened. Pretty cool moment. It probably made the photo shoot even more memorable than it already was. Believe it or not though, he actually planted the drowning kid for the photo op just so he could take some legendary pictures. I'm kidding. That would be crazy though. Today I found out that there was actually a YouTuber on the same cruise ship that had the hantavirus outbreak. And now the internet is trying to cancel him because after leaving the cruise ship, he went straight to a crowded wedding. The guy's name is Ruhi Chinet. He's huge on YouTube and he's known for making these incredible documentaries in crazy places. So it makes sense he was on this cruise ship since it's known for going to crazy places like Antarctica. And this trip was headed to Tristan da Cunha, the most isolated island in the world. Now he did say he went to the wedding before the WHO even announced the outbreak, so you can't really blame him if that is to be true. The funny thing is the only reason I found this out is because the app I made on this website told me about it. It literally scans the internet all day for viral stories so that I can be the first one to tell them. And today I woke up with a notification straight to my phone about this one. The cool thing is Emergent literally lets you make an app for just about anything. People are coming up with genius app ideas and becoming millionaires because of this technology, and all you have to do is tell the website what kind of app you want to make, and then boom, it cooks up the whole app in like 20 minutes. The app I made has helped me out so much with my job, and it can definitely do the same for you. If you want to make your own, go to emergent.sh. It could change your life. So not long ago, I spoke about this guy, the owner of the world's largest looksmaxing website, because, well, as you can see, he does not look like your typical looksmaxer. To put it quite frankly, he's chopped as hell. And until today, we really only had a couple pictures of what this guy looks like, but I recently came across this video where we get an even better look at how rough this guy looks. I don't feel bad saying this because not only does he run the looksmaxing website, he also runs websites that are far worse that I can't even mention on here. Regardless, I don't understand why he's in charge of the looksmaxing one, but I guess coaches don't play. So not too long ago, this woman went viral after her speech at a college graduation ceremony because she said this:
The rise of artificial intelligence is the next industrial revolution.
As you can see, she nearly got murdered for saying that. Now, from a factual standpoint, the statement is not necessarily wrong, but her issue was that she said this to a bunch of art students. Yeah, she told a bunch of students who spent all of their time and money on a degree that's gonna make it really difficult for them to get a job that AI is the future. You really gotta know your audience when it comes to something like this. It's like she wanted to rage bait them. Remember that guy who went viral after running over 3 miles in an airplane bathroom? Well, today I found out that that was was just the tip of the iceberg. Yeah, I came across this video where he runs a 5K under his couch. There's also one of him doing it inside of a toilet bowl. Here he is running a 5K in a tree. Here he's running one on a swing. One of my personal favorites here where he's on top of a fridge running a 5K. And then what's probably the most humiliating one, running one inside of a cage at a dog park as people are just walking by with their dogs. My favorite frame is this one where he lets the dog in with him. This guy really fears nothing. There's so many more too, I can't fit them all in one video. So not too long ago, this guy who had been insecure his whole life because of his large forehead decided he wanted to make the best of it. So he came up with an idea. It was to sell ad space on his forehead. He posted this video.
I'm selling ad space on my forehead. I've gotten a lot of comments calling me chopped and a lot of attention on my forehead.
And before he knew it, the video blew up with comments from Mr. Beast, KFC, Duolingo, GoPuff. His plan was actually working. Now, while Mr. Beast said he was gonna buy it all, he actually did not follow through. Luckily though, it seems like there's still quite a bit of demand because every other week this guy has a different promotion on his forehead. He really is making money from this. Amazing. Another day, another virus making major headlines. Guys, this time it is in Africa. There is a major Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Uganda. It's gotten so bad with over 100 deaths to the point where the World Health Organization has declared a global health emergency. Now, if you're wondering what Ebola even is, well, it's only one of the most lethal viruses on Earth. Yeah, not too good. And during the 2010s, there was a major outbreak of this virus that killed over 10,000 people. The USA already restricted travel from any of the places that were hit by this, which is a good thing. Hopefully it doesn't get out of hand, and hopefully they contain this thing. I don't think I've seen more people so upset over a company changing their app icon. If you're not in the loop, Spotify recently changed their app icon from this to this. They made it more fun. They turned the logo into a disco ball. You'd think people enjoy that, but no. Spotify got so much backlash from angry people that they had to come out and say, all right, we know glitter isn't for everyone, and they said the regular logo is coming back soon. The funny thing is, these are the same people who complain about how annoying minimalism is. These are the same people who complain about how McDonald's used to be this fun, awesome place, and now it looks like this. People are just never happy. Today I came across this video online of a guy who found some random dude's ID, and he was trying to help him get it back, so he posted this video.
Bro, I just found this guy's ID. Walter Sanford. Bro, I found your ID on the Walk of Fame. Hit me up.
And as expected, this way of getting his ID back to him does not seem to be working too well because, well, I mean, let's just look at the comments. Walter Sanford's neighbor said, hey, that's my neighbor, I'll bring it to him. Walter's drug dealer, yo, that's my favorite client. Walter Sanford's twin said, that's my twin's wallet, give it to me. But it just keeps getting better. Walter Sanford's house said he's still not home. I miss him so much. This one says, yo, I think that's my dad's wallet. I'm not even gonna mention the username in the picture. Evil Walter Sanford said, keep the ID, I don't need it. Then we got Walter Sanford's blind buddy saying, whatever this is, I appreciate the creativity here. Then we got Walter Ahmed Ali asking him to return the wallet in Arabic. Then we got Sir Walter Sanford IV asking for it back respectfully in what looks like Old English. Probably one of the greatest comment sections of all time, but hopefully the real Walter does get his ID eventually. Guys, I never thought I'd be making this video, but it finally happened. The Trump mobile cell phone is here. 9 months late, but it's finally here. The first video I made about this thing was quite literally almost a year ago. Now, does it look anything like the original phone they announced? No. Is it made in the USA like they originally said it would be? Also no. It's made in China, of course, but you know what? It's here, that's all that matters. It'll really be interesting to see how long this phone lasts. Anyways, guys, something tells me we're not going to be seeing a Trump phone too. It's just a hunch. Today, one of the world's most controversial restaurants has closed its doors for good. It was called Heart Attack Grill in Vegas, and believe it or not, once a customer died of a heart attack while eating at Heart Attack Grill. This is what the food looked like. Hopefully the dots are connecting a little bit. Now, the reason this place got so much backlash is because of a promotion that they always ran. If a customer comes in, stands on this scale, and weighs in at over 350 pounds, they get their food for free. They were basically promoting obesity, and there were definitely a bunch of 300-pounders who decided to put on another 50 just so they could get free food. Kinda gross. This place will not be missed, at least by me. Guys, another massive graduation fail just happened. This time around, the school is in trouble for using AI. What a plot twist. Basically, whoever was in charge of announcing the names at this college decided to make their job a little bit easier and use AI to do so. And the AI skipped over the names of over like 100 graduates. Complete disaster. This is like the biggest day of their life, and their name wasn't announced. Then this woman had to come up and apologize, explain the situation.
We're using a new AI system as our reader.
Yeah, they all booed the crap out of her. Now, to be fair, they all definitely used AI on their assignments to get through college, so should they be booing? Maybe not, but also it is funny seeing it the other way around. What a way to finish it off. Today, I came across one of the greatest pump fakes of all time. This guy tweeted out saying, "I just generated an image in the style of a Monet painting using AI. Please describe in as much detail as possible what makes this inferior to a real Monet painting." Basically showing his support for AI on Twitter, something that's going to make a lot of people freak out. Now here's the thing, this is a real Monet painting. He totally lied. And then he just added the made with AI tag to the post. And what do you know, a bunch of people replied to this tweet talking about why it's so much worse than a real Monet painting. Like this smart woman saying there's no cohesion to the depth and color choices. She continues to go on about why it's so much worse, and so did many other people on this thread. Then there's this guy who wrote like an entire essay about why it's so much worse. Little do all of these people know it's a real Monet. Now, I'm not saying AI is an inherently good thing, but one thing I can't stand is when people on the internet try to act smarter than they actually are. And this is a great example of it. Do you guys remember this guy who not long ago donated $200 to a live stream of Trump addressing the nation? And he said, "Dear Trump, please say Bitcoin," as if Trump was gonna read the dono and say Bitcoin. Now, obviously, he had a bet on Kalshi that Trump would say Bitcoin. Trump did not say Bitcoin, but guys, he did not learn his lesson. When Drake recently premiered his new album Iceman on YouTube, one of the most noticeable donations was this one. The same guy donating $200, and it says, "Dear Drake, please say K-Dot." I think you'd have better luck throwing $200 into the ocean than doing something like this. Some people really just don't learn their lessons, I guess.
Hey guys. I can't find John, so I decided to hop in and fill in for him since he usually posts 2 times a day. I don't really know what to do here, so pretend I said like a cool story or something. Wait guys, he is almost at 8 million though, so subscribe, I guess.
Guys, we're about to witness one of the most interesting sporting events of all time. It's called the Enhanced Games, and it's basically just the Olympics, but with one difference. That difference is that there's no restrictions on steroids or PEDs. So the athletes can be totally juiced up while they compete, and we're basically going to see the absolute limits humans can go to with steroids. And some of the athletes are actually former Olympians, like this guy who competed in the Olympics before, and this is him now after steroid use. He's like a whole different person. Now, I am assuming a lot of the athletes who agreed to do something like this aren't the best of the best. You know, we're not going to see someone like Michael Phelps doing something like this and just shattering every record to ever exist, but it will be interesting to see if any records are broken, unofficially, I guess. Social media algorithms really never disappoint. Yesterday, I came across this post from a random mom on the internet just posting an invitation to her son's graduation, probably for family and friends. But somehow it picked up in the Instagram algorithm, and within one day, 24 hours, this got 13 million views. It went totally viral. Every single person in the comments was talking about how they're gonna pull up. I even dropped a comment myself. Now, as I'm recording this video, Khalil's graduation should be going on, and with 13 million views, there's no doubt that at least 100 people decided to actually pull up. That's just how the internet works. If anybody has any updates here, please send them my way. I'm dying to know what it looked like for Khalil when he walked that stage. So a Chinese AI startup has been getting a lot of attention online after they claim they've created a translator that turns pet sounds into human speech. Imagine walking up to your dog to pet it and then you hear this.
"Don't grab me. If you grab me, I'ma bite you. I swear to God."
I think I'm good. Now, it's apparently a collar they wear around their neck powered by AI, and the company making it says it can recognize behavior and emotion in animals with 95% accuracy. The thing is that 95% is not backed up by any data or study, so it could very well just be a scam. It's $118. I don't have any pets, but even if I did, I don't think I'd take one for free. Something about knowing what your pet is thinking about you kind of creeps me out. Today I learned about this guy, a Soviet astronaut who was orbiting Earth in 1991 before he got one of the last messages you ever want to hear as an astronaut orbiting Earth. The message from ground control stated, "You must remain in space as the country that sent you no longer exists." His country was literally gone as he was in space. Basically, after he was launched into space and put into orbit, the Soviet Union, where he was from, started to collapse. And because of the transition before the Soviet Union became Russia, the government basically had so much more to worry about and kind of just told him to wait on up there. So instead of spending 150 days in space as planned, he had to spend almost double that that. Finally, after 311 days in space, the Russian space program was reorganized and they were able to bring him home in a new country. That is an original experience if I have ever heard of one. Guys, mark your calendars because on June 16th, New York City could go up in flames. I'm not even kidding. It could look like this. Let me explain. On this day, it's looking like the Knicks are going to be playing Game 3 of the NBA Finals at home in Madison Square Garden, but also New York is hosting a World Cup game on the same day. Who's playing in that game, you ask? France. So say the Knicks win and France wins, and both French people and New Yorkers are trying to celebrate at the same time, it is over for New York. It might look like this. If you're in New York City, you better prepare for this. It might just look like Philadelphia after one of their sporting events has a result. It will be interesting to see. Guys, I think I found the most American headline I've ever read. It says, Joey Chestnut to defend hot dog eating title while on probation for battery. That's right, the Glizzy Gladiator himself was recently accused of slapping a man in the face at a bar. He pled guilty and was sentenced to 180 days of probation. Lucky for him, he was cleared to compete in the hot dog eating contest on the 4th of July, despite the fact that he's still on probation. Only in America can a guy beat someone up at a bar, end up on probation, and still get special judicial permission to fly to New York and go eat 70 hot dogs in front of a bunch of people in under 10 minutes. It's just crazy to think about. Well, guys, the Enhanced Games, which is basically the Olympics, but where athletes are allowed to take steroids, just concluded, and the results are quite unexpected because 3 natural athletes who didn't even take steroids but still competed won. Yeah, this swimmer and these 2 100-meter dash athletes did not take any drugs to compete, and they still won. On top of that, despite most of the athletes using steroids, only one world record was broken. It was this athlete in the 50-meter freestyle, but obviously this record will not be recognized. Personally, I see this event as a bit of a failure. It was a lot more underwhelming than I thought it would be. I thought everyone was going to break a world record, but no. Only one world record was broken, and 3 clean athletes won their event. I guess the human spirit is the greatest steroid. It happened, guys. The Knicks won. They're going to be going to the finals for the first time in 27 years, and as we all expected, the streets of New York City turned into an absolute disaster. Before the game, this video surfaced of NYPD officers preparing for Armageddon if the Knicks win. They did, and as you can see, it was mob. This is the middle of the road, by the way. Cars were trying to get through. These guys somehow managed to climb on top of a subway stop. Then there's this guy who got arrested for climbing a pole. But as you can see, it doesn't look like this stopped more people from climbing poles. Granted, this game wasn't even in New York, and it wasn't the finals. Who knows what it's going to look like at a home finals game. Guys, some of these dropshipping scammers genuinely need to be locked up behind bars. I've talked about a lot of these guys, but I think I came across the worst one yet. It's this account called Milo Makes Art, and whoever's running it is pretending to be a kid with Down syndrome who's getting bullied for trying to sell his art. The thing is, most people young enough would know that this is not real. It's AI. And this first video on the account ended up going so viral, it got 33 million views, which probably means the dropshipper converted quite well. And if you go to the link on the profile, it's his store where he's selling these Godzilla lamps that he totally handmade. And somehow it looks just like this Godzilla lamp on Etsy being sold for 30 bucks, less than half the price. I've talked about a lot of these scammers, people pretending to be senior citizens selling a product, but never did I think someone would go this low. I can't even imagine what might be next. Huge rare YouTuber W, guys. PewDiePie, the GOAT of YouTube, decided he's gonna be stopping his family vlogs at the end of the year so that he can protect the privacy of his son as he grows up. PewDiePie said if he wants to be a part of these vlogs, that should be his choice later on in life. And man, there are a lot of family channels that should be taking notes right now. I've really never understood the whole family channel thing. I think it's absolutely outrageous to just film every second of your 5-year-old's life when they obviously aren't old enough to make that decision for themselves. It's honestly crazy to me that that's even legal. Anyways, props to PewDiePie. I can't even say I'm surprised by this though. So a couple months ago, this woman posted a video ranting about how a cop pulled her over saying that she was texting and driving with her phone in her right hand. But you see, the thing is, she didn't have a right hand. Because of the irony, that rant went extremely viral, and today we finally got an update. The body cam footage came out where we see her show the cop that she doesn't have a right hand, yet the cop still refuses to be wrong and doesn't drop it. But luckily, today was her court date, and it seems he changed changed his mind because he reached out to the judge and requested that this case be dismissed. So yeah, she single-handedly beat that case, and the official reason for the dismissal was lack of evidence, which I guess you could say makes sense. One thing you guys always tell me whenever I upload is that I never smile or show emotion in my videos, which honestly is false. I have posted over 2,000 videos, but I think in like 3 or 4 of them I am seen smiling. But you know what? For those of you who don't want to go through all 2,000 to find those 4 videos, I decided to do something different. I made this post telling you guys to send me the funniest videos you can find. I just watched them in my recent video, and when I smile, the video ends. If you want to check it out, it's on my channel right now. Well guys, Palm Beach Pete, the man who went viral for looking strikingly similar to Jeffrey Epstein, just announced he's going to be running for mayor of Palm Beach. What planet are we even living on? The fact that this is a real thing, mind-blowing. I mean, I will say, if any state was to elect a guy who went viral for looking like Epstein as mayor, it would be Florida. On that front, I'm not surprised, but every other front, what the hell? Guys, 10 years ago today, the legend himself, Harambe, was taken from us. It became one of the most controversial situations of that decade because many people believed Harambe died because of human failure, not his own. The child was unsupervised long enough to get into the enclosure, and Harambe was just a wild animal confined in a zoo for human entertainment. Because of this, many people argued he paid the price for mistakes that humans made. Definitely a difficult situation all around. Regardless, rest in peace to the legend himself. Some people say the past 10 years have been cursed because of this, so maybe today that curse ends. We'll see. Guys, today I learned that there's a buffalo in Bangladesh whose name is Donald Trump. I'm sure you can see why. It's the hair if you didn't notice. And Donald Trump was recently just hours from being sacrificed as part of a common tradition where buffaloes are killed during one of the major holidays in Bangladesh. Donald Trump had already been sold for slaughter, and the deal was done until a bunch of videos of the buffalo came out where his blonde tuft of hair went viral and turned him into a national attraction. Once that happened, crowds began to swarm the farm Donald Trump was living on like every single day. Then government officials had to intervene due to security reasons, ultimately saving Donald Trump. He's now headed to the National Zoo. Hopefully they take good care of Donald over there. So recently, everyone has been talking about this Norwegian man who claims he was abandoned by his parents at 10 years old in one of the worst slums of India and just kind of left there to fend for himself, homeless and with no education. He's gotten a lot of attention because despite the fact that he looks completely European, this is how he sounds.
Norwegian citizen, born in Norway, stuck in India, living on the streets.
Now, after being stranded, he says he eventually became a tour guide so that he could get by, and after 8 years living in India, the Finnish embassy finally helped him relocate back to Europe. The thing is, once they helped him get back there, he says the Finnish and Norwegian governments both didn't give him any support adjusting after relocation, which has to make things super difficult. I mean, at this point, he's 18 and all he knows is life in the slums of Mumbai. I will say, if all of this actually is true and he's not just really good at that accent and making it up, it might be one of the most insane stories I've heard about in a while, and I'm surprised we never heard about this guy a lot earlier. So a high school in Rhode Island has been getting a ton of attention recently because someone there screwed up big time. After they ordered probably hundreds of yearbooks for all of the students, they realized there was a typo. As you can see, it doesn't say Johnston Senior High School. It says Johnston Senior High School. They forgot the C. Now, we don't know exactly how many yearbooks they bought, but assuming it's an average-sized high school, it could be like 1,000 yearbooks. I really don't know what's worse, this one or the daycare in Minnesota that went viral because it was called the Leering Center. The Leering Center was able to fix their sign, but in the case of this high school, they're kind of just gonna have to deal with it. Today, I woke up to the news that there was an unbelievably large explosion in Florida.
Yeah, boys! Bro! What the No! Dude, what the
As you can see, that is not a common sight. Something really bad happened. At first, nobody really exactly knew what was going on, but finally we know. Apparently, it was a Blue Origin rocket, which is a space company owned by Jeff Bezos, and they recently started working with NASA because they're trying to build a $20 billion base on the moon. I can't believe that's a real sentence. Unfortunately for NASA, this does seem like a pretty huge setback, but luckily nobody was hurt, and that's all that really matters to me. I'm sure Jeff will be all right financially as well. The situation that's been happening with with bricks and minifigs, which has always been one of the most trusted Lego reselling stores, is absolutely insane, and it came out of nowhere. Basically, it started with this guy who built a $200,000 Lego Star Wars collection with his father, and his father's health went pretty downhill, so he decided to make the decision to sell the collection. So he gives all of the Legos to bricks and minifigs. They fill up an entire store with all of their stuff. Now keep in mind, it's all on consignment, meaning he still owns all of his Legos until they sell. But then the store changed owners, and the new guys were like, these are ours. We don't know who you are or what you're talking about. Yeah, they said they owned all of the stuff that was on consignment. That's when this YouTuber, who goes by Reckless Ben, made a video where he goes to try and help. Now luckily, Ben's video did give a ton of attention to a situation that definitely deserves it, and I do think because of it, this family will eventually get their Legos back. Fingers crossed. One thing I'm never gonna understand is when people destroy their city after they win a championship in a sport. Paris Saint-Germain just won the Champions League final, and when I tell you the stuff coming out of Paris right now, it doesn't look real. People are lighting things on fire, including cars. There's been explosions in the middle of the streets. Cops had to go outside with riot shields. There's flares going off, and people are looting buildings. When I saw these videos, I thought they were fake posts of old videos from some political riot in Paris ages ago, but no, this all happens today. Even the Eiffel Tower is covered in smoke right now because there was a fire at the base. This is like 10 times worse than what Philadelphia looked like after they won the Super Bowl, and honestly, I don't even think New York will look like this if the Knicks win the finals. Paris is on another level. To think they call this the city of love. What a scam. Guys, one legend on Facebook may have just found the best way to sell junk that nobody wants, and you're never gonna believe how he's doing it. It all started when he saw another guy's listings for a bunch of heavy industrial equipment, but as you can see, a bunch of AI generated models are hanging out on the equipment. He thought to himself, you know what? I have a bunch of stuff that just isn't selling. Let me try this strategy out. So he does. He had a bunch of workout equipment that wasn't getting any clicks, decides to re-upload all that equipment with AI generated models sitting on it, and then what do you know? His inbox was flooded with interest. Listen guys, I know AI can get a bad rap sometimes, but this one, it's kind of awesome. Might get patched soon though if too many people start doing it, so if you got any junk you want to sell, you better get on that soon. So I recently spoke about the absolute anarchy that took place in Paris after they won in the Champions League final. There were fires in the streets, people burning cars, looting buildings. As you can see, it looks like the purge just went down. This is what it looked like in the morning after all of the quote-unquote celebrations that took place, and as you can see, it looked like a hurricane rolled through Paris. It's not even funny how bad it really got. People were getting harassed left and right. As cars would drive through the streets, people were breaking the windows. I even saw some videos of people inside the cars getting assaulted. It really was just an absolute disaster. Mind you, Paris won the game. Their team won the game, and now they're destroying their city and hurting their own people. Make it make sense. Guys, on today's episode of How Is This a Real Headline, Google is seeking approval to release millions of mosquitoes in Florida and California. Google. Apparently, they're trying to release over 32 million mosquitoes over the next 2 years in both states, and they're doing this to try and reduce mosquito-borne diseases like the West Nile virus. But my question is, why Google? Why does Google just have an army of mosquitoes waiting to be released? Where are they now? Like, what? Also, as someone who's from Florida, I feel like we have enough mosquitoes. I don't want any more. So you guys know I don't talk about politics often, but if I do, I'm making fun of them, and I do it on both sides. Today we got a good one. A bunch of activists were recently hanging out outside ICE's facility, and then two Hispanic men walked out. The activists started cheering until they realized that these were actually just employees who worked for ICE. The irony on this one is it's something else. Guys, I recently made a strange discovery where it seems like Kim Jong-un has a bunch of people running TikTok pages with the sole purpose of spreading North Korean propaganda to us. Like this one called the DPRK Times, and they make North Korea out to look like an absolute blast. There's also this one called North Korea Today, seemingly doing the same thing. This one, who's actually an influencer named Zoe Discovers, and she like glazes North Korea for a living. And then this one called Life Inside North Korea. Guys, I just took a look at all of these, and we watched a bunch of these videos in my recent. If you want to check it out, you can find it here on my channel. So I've made a couple videos now about this guy who donated to a live stream of Trump addressing the nation and said, "Dear Trump, please say Bitcoin," as if Trump would somehow see it and he would cash out on Kalshi. And on that last video I made about this guy, the comments are something else. "Dear John, please say chicken nugget. Dear John, please say lettuce. Dear John, just say chicken nugget like the dude wants. Just give the man what he wants and say chicken nugget. Dear John, please don't say chicken nugget. I know the other guy got a lot riding on it, but I got a lot against it. Guys, what are we doing? There is not a Kalshi market for what I say in my videos. Please stop." This is even worse than the guy donating to Trump because the bet literally doesn't even exist. And even if Kalshi did have odds of me saying chicken nugget, I don't think I would just say chicken nugget because you guys asked. Okay, we're done. So a bunch of news recently came out about this guy who was on Mr. Beast's 100 Pilots Fight for a Private Jet video. They were basically saying that he was linked to a massive trafficking case because over 500 pounds of Mary Jane was found on a plane that he was flying. Now the thing is, many of the articles made it seem like he was on the plane that he won on Mr. Beast's video, but that was not the case. He was apparently simply a contractor hired to be a co-pilot on this flight and actually had no idea about what was going on. He ended up being arrested and detained in Paraguay, but authorities later released him because they realized he actually probably doesn't have anything to do with this. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the investigation is still ongoing, so if we do get any major updates or something switches, I'll let you know, but it doesn't look like he had anything to do with it. The aircraft actually belongs to an Estonian entrepreneur named Keith Seelots. He's probably the one who's in big trouble. Life-ruining trouble. Guys, I recently came across one of the most insane creators of all time. It's this Chinese dude, and he has built an entire city for all of his pets. But this isn't just any city, guys. It's unbelievable what this guy has done. Not only does he have a working canal with flowing water, he also has a working subway system that transports the pets from one place to the other. He recently finished up this jewelry store. He has a McDonald's. There's a movie theater. The house that the pets live in has a working elevator, and somehow there's windows that show moving cars in the back. There's even a sewage system that he built, and his most recent addition is a full-on basketball arena for all of the pets. I don't know what this guy does for a living, but he has a lot of time on his hands. It's actually so impressive what he's done that so many people have accused him of using AI, despite the fact that he's constantly told people it's not AI. And honestly, it doesn't look like AI. I think this is just pure talent, dedication, and a lot of time. These are very lucky pets. In honor of the upcoming World Cup that is right around the corner, I want to take a look back at one of the craziest commercial fails of all time. It was an anti-gambling ad that was aired throughout all of Singapore during the 2014 World Cup, and this is how it went.
Hey guys, I really can't wait for the World Cup. Who do you think's gonna win it? My dad said Brazil win.
No. Argentina's gonna win.
How about you, Andy? I hope Germany will win. Why? My dad bet all my savings on them.
The commercial ended up backfiring horribly on the anti-gambling organization because, well, Germany won the World Cup. They destroyed Brazil in the final. The dad won a lot of money. Honestly, this is the company's fault. They shouldn't have picked one of the best teams to be the one that the life savings were gambled on, but whatever. So with Apple's new iPhone release right around the corner, this video of what is apparently the new iPhone Fold just surfaced. Now, this seems to be one of those dummy iPhone models that's given to all of the case companies so that they can make cases before the phone comes out. And it seems like the video was taken straight from a factory. Obviously, there's a ton of fake leaks when it comes to iPhones coming out, but I think this one is legit. Personally, I will not be getting this phone. I don't see a benefit in a foldable screen and a worse camera. Not to mention, this phone's probably going to cost $2,000, if not more. I also wouldn't be surprised if there's a ton of issues with this phone from the get-go. I guess we'll see what happens. Well, guys, this one ruined my day. A Chinese influencer whose dog had 1.5 million followers was stolen, sold for $34, and slaughtered. It's actually awful. The owner, whose name was Guo, was going on a road trip to Georgia. He left the dog at home with his parents, and a few days later, this video surveillance showed two strangers stealing the dog and taking it away on a bike. He then tracked down and located the couple who allegedly stole the dog, and that's when he was told that the dog was sold for $34 and slaughtered. Actually horrible. Nobody deserves to go through this. Now, Guo did say he's going to try and pursue legal action. I really don't know how that works in China, but I really do hope that the people responsible responsible for this horrible act pay the price. This is awful. So the Argentina national team recently arrived in Kansas City, where they're going to be playing their first games in the World Cup, and right off the bat, they are already getting quite the experience. Literally just hours after they arrived, got to their hotel, and went to bed, there was a tornado that ran straight through their tournament base at around 2 a.m. Luckily, it wasn't one of those massive tornadoes that tear down whole cities. I mean, imagine being from Argentina. It's your first time in this random state in the US, and then you see this. That would not be fun at all. So the NBA Finals started and the Knicks won their first game. Guys, it's already chaos. This one wasn't even in New York, but people still filled the streets, and after they won, it was just madness. I came across this video of some guy who got his hands on an NYPD body cam, and it's on.
You for the D's game?
Everyone in that video might be going to jail. It would have helped if he didn't say he stole it while it was recording. Anyways, if this is the kind of stuff that's going down when they're not even playing at home, I can't even imagine what it's going to be like if they win a home game. Pray for New York City. I don't know if I'm allowed to make this video, but I guess we'll find out. So recently, a screenshot leaked of Mr. Beast's YouTube studio dashboard showing how much money he makes in 1 month on his channel. And guys, I'm not going to show the screenshot because then YouTube will definitely take this down, but it was a lot of money. I'm talking like over $20 million. Now, the thing is, a lot of people saw this and assumed that all of that money is going to Mr. Beast's pocket, but that's not how a business works. I want to say nearly all of that money is going back into the videos. I'm pretty sure Mr. Beast even said in a podcast once that he has less than $1 million in his bank account, which is very respectable. I do gotta say, though, it is crazy to see what the dashboard looks like for the biggest YouTuber on planet Earth. I mean, it's nuts. Remember that guy who went super viral for tattooing KSI on his body, including his face, every single day until KSI notices him? Well, it turns out none of it was real. He faked the whole thing and fooled everyone. Luckily, I never made a video about this, but I saw it everywhere and I honestly thought it was real. He just came out with this video where he basically says it was all a big prank / social experiment to see if people believe what they see online, and I guess it worked. This might actually be the first time someone tried to fool the internet and succeeded since like Nikocado Avocado, if you remember that. One of the best plot twists of the decade. I gotta give it to him. So there's a kid from Nigeria who's been going quite viral on Twitter because he's opened like every single business you can think of. It started with this post where he said he opened a pharmacy office at 20. Then he posted this saying he started a real estate business at 20. Then he posted this one, a secondhand shoe business. Next it was an appliances shop. Then it was a block industry business. There was also a tire business, a catfish business, and a bike business. Now I hate to be the guy to try and debunk this because if it is true, that might be the most impressive thing ever. But I feel like this guy is just running around taking selfies at every business he sees. The first tweet kind of got a lot of traction, so I wouldn't be surprised if he just wanted to replicate the same traction, and that's why he has like 20 of these posts. Gotta respect the hustle though. Well, this one is not something you see all day. A woman from Seattle totally drove her car on the train tracks to the point where she was just driving through the train station. It's actually one of the strangest sights ever. I think the only time I've ever seen something remotely similar is in like GTA. I would drive on the train tracks. Now, when people asked her how in the world she ended up in this situation, she apparently told people that she was just following her GPS, which is a bit hard to believe. Anyways, I think we gotta get this woman in the government right away. So by now you've probably heard about the Bricks and Minifigs situation, where the new owners of the Bricks and Minifigs store basically stole $200,000 of Legos from a man and his father who decided to sell their collection at this store. But guys, I have good news, big update. Reckless Ben, the YouTuber who made a video exposing all of this and giving it a ton of publicity, recently dropped a GoFundMe after all of the chaos, and that GoFundMe is now at $440,000. It's actually wild that it had to get to this point with how evil the new owners of this place are, but at the same time, when it comes to money, people are ruthless. You really can't trust anyone. Guys, New York City is about to be an absolute disaster. Game 3 of the NBA Finals is happening. It's the first game in New York City, and the preparation for this game has been insane. It looks like literally every single NYPD officer in the entire city is outside Madison Square Garden, to the point where I'm thinking someone might try and rob a bank since every cop is focused on this game. They also completely shut down 15 whole blocks in the city. Nobody can go there unless they have a ticket or work at one of the businesses in the area. Apparently, this is because Donald Trump is going to the game. I guess he's a lifelong Knicks fan, so obviously security is not playing around. I also saw this guy impersonating Trump on the street. He is like playing with his life. All it takes is one idiot who thinks this is the real Donald Donald Trump, and that guy's gone. I hate that I have to talk about this, but I feel an obligation to since this is my job. It was recently June 7th, meaning the date was 6/7, and at 6:07 p.m. on 6/7, a bunch of people in New York City met up in a park to celebrate 6/7. 3, 2, 1. New York City is something else. I swear to God, they have a meetup for like everything. The crazy thing is it looks like they're all adults. These are all grown people. We're so done. We're done. Today I learned about this guy named Dan Sullivan who's running for Senate in Alaska. And then there's this guy named Dan Sullivan, also from Alaska, who's running against Dan Sullivan. Now, the only reason Dan Sullivan's running against Dan Sullivan is because he has opposing views and he's trying to stop Dan Sullivan from winning. Dan Sullivan's a real politician and he's pissed about this because it might actually be working. Meanwhile, Dan Sullivan has never ran for office, but he doesn't want Dan Sullivan to win. Pretty evil stuff, but it's also kind of a genius move, and it's legal. Reminds me of that lawyer named Mark Zuckerberg who sued Mark Zuckerberg because his Facebook accounts kept getting deleted for impersonating Mark Zuckerberg. I love things like this. Guys, the New York Knicks fans took it too far. I can't say I'm surprised. They lost their game last night at home, and anyone wearing a Spurs jersey on the streets was done for. It's actually awful what was going on. A bunch of videos surfaced of Knicks fans fully jumping Spurs fans, and they would rip their jersey off and take it and go and burn it. I'm not even kidding. I can't even show most of these videos because of how graphic it is. Like, for example, in this one, the guy walking here, he ended up getting beat up so bad that his whole face was bloody afterwards. It's really just an awful scene. I can't stand when sports fans take things way too far. It's never this deep, but also this is New York City, so I can't say I'm surprised. Throwback to when the gummy bear company Haribo had these sugar-free gummy bears that looked innocent but actually got banned because of what they did to people. You see, one of the ingredients in these gummy bears caused a major laxative effect, which led to some of the craziest Amazon reviews of all time. People were writing literal essays. I'm not going to read those, but I'll just read some of the titles. This one says, "See you in hell, Haribo sugar-free gummy bears." This one was titled "Diarrhea while driving." Not sure why he gave it 5 stars. That doesn't sound like a 5-star experience. Here's one that says, "Worst thing that ever happened to me." Then this one says, "One of the worst days of my life." And then we got this one that says, "Oh God." So yeah, as you can see, these things messed people up, which led to Haribo ultimately just taking them off the shelves. They don't sell them anymore, but I got my hands on them. I just made this video where I tested discontinued snacks, and unfortunately, yes, these are one of the snacks. If you want to check it out, you can find it here on my channel. Guys, this might be the greatest news I've told in a while. Nintendo just announced the trailer for Switch Sports Resort. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I played Wii Sports Resort back in the day. It was like a major piece of my childhood. Flying the plane over the island, the sword fight game was incredible. Now, I really hope this new game is just as good as the one on the Wii was, but judging by how disappointing Switch Sports was, I don't know if it will be. Hopefully it lives up to the hype. The trailer looks awesome, and because of that, I might be scraping up $600 for a Switch 2. I think my favorite part about this World Cup is watching Europeans experience the most random cities in America for the first time. Spain is experiencing Chattanooga, Tennessee. Argentina is experiencing Auburn, Alabama. And then there's this guy who just discovered Waffle House for the first time and loved it. He also found out about the Coca-Cola Freestyle. I guess they don't have that in Germany. Then we got another European who just discovered ranch at this random diner. I didn't even know ranch was like an America exclusive. I gotta say, seeing how much these people are enjoying my country, it makes me proud. Guys, this Purple Prime might genuinely be the worst drink ever created. First of all, it's actually totally banned. You literally cannot get this flavor anymore because Prime actually got sued. Apparently, the grape flavor had a really high amount of something called forever chemicals, which are linked to cancer and a whole bunch of other issues, and I'm honestly not surprised because it genuinely tastes like it's not meant for human consumption. Anyways, Prime used to send me like cases of this stuff. I don't remember ever trying this flavor, but I just did in my recent video where I try snacks that no longer exist. If you want to check it out, it's here on my channel. So this random German dude named Freddy has been going super viral on Twitter because he's here for the World Cup from Germany, and he's been having the most American experience of all time and loving every bit of it. One of the first tweets that got a ton of traction was when he saw Buc-ee's for the first time and he could not believe it was a gas station. Him and his friends ate some brisket sandwiches on a stack of deer feeder corn. Then he went to Waffle House at 1 a.m., loved that too. Went to Chili's to go watch the NBA Finals. Then he went to Wendy's and was shocked by all of the options on the Coca-Cola Freestyle. And at the soccer game, he got to watch an eagle fly through the stadium. He's been on a road trip through all of the southern states and just got to Florida, but I have to say, his experience has almost been so American that it's hard to believe this guy's actually German. He knows what he's doing a little bit too much. I don't know. Guys, today I learned that there might actually be someone out there who can accurately predict the future. It's nuts. Basically, in 2020, this kid named Evan was graduating from high school and he needed to put a senior quote in his yearbook. What was that quote he put? It was Knicks in 6 2026 NBA Finals. He put that 6 years ago. The Knicks just beat the Spurs in Game 4. They are up 3-1 in the series, and if the Spurs win the next game in San Antonio, there is a really good chance the Knicks win in 6, and this kid Evan actually can predict the future. So Uber just released their 10th annual Lost and Found Index, where they report a bunch of data about things that were left in Ubers. And they talk about the most commonly forgotten items like phone, wallet, luggage, keys, but they also have a list of the most unique items left in Ubers, and let me tell you, some of these really stand out. Number 2 and number 7 are probably the craziest in my opinion. Why did someone have the George Washington Hospital discharge papers in their Uber? It makes no sense. Then if you keep going down this list, apparently someone left a 75-gallon fish tank in their Uber. How do you forget that? I don't know. There was also a dishwasher, pelvis implants, a shower pole, a live fish. I mean, it really is just interesting stuff people are taking on these Ubers nowadays. Guys, I miss when YouTube was this simple. Today I came across a video I surprisingly have never seen called Dog Eats Bean Burrito in 1 second. And in that video, well, a dog eats a bean burrito in 1 second. You get exactly what you asked for. No crazy AI generated thumbnail, not sitting through a 3-minute intro before finally getting to what happens. Just exactly what the title promised. It's actually crazy that something like this will never work ever again, but I am glad YouTube still recommends the old videos. One of the most insane pranks just took place at a school in San Diego, and authorities are still trying to find out who did it. Basically, everyone pulls up to school one day. Mind you, it's finals week, kids have tests to take, and every single door is just locked. They try to unlock the doors, and that's when they realize every single lock is filled with glue. 200 doors in total, glued shut. Now, it's been 2 weeks since all of this went down, and some locks are still just not budging. They can't get through. Now, police have surveillance video of the guy who did it, but they have no idea who he is. My guess is some random student who did not want to take his final. I will say, one of the articles mentioned that this caused $70,000 in damage, and I'm having a hard time understanding how. I mean, there were 200 locks that were damaged. Each lock is probably, I don't know, like 30 to 50 bucks. So yeah, I don't know how that comes out to 70 grand, but more money for the school, I guess. So right now, a bunch of Europeans think that they can walk to MetLife Stadium from New York City for the World Cup, despite the fact that they would have to cross a literal highway, not just any highway too. I-95, one of the most chaotic highways in the country. Now, obviously, us Americans who know that that's basically impossible are laughing at the fact that some people are going to try and attempt this, and one guy from Scotland actually did to prove everyone wrong. He posted this video where he walked from MetLife Stadium to New York City. It only took him over 8 hours, so I don't know if he actually did prove anyone wrong. Guys, New York City genuinely might not survive tonight. I just came across this video of Brazil fans after they arrived for their World Cup game that's just about to start in like a few minutes, and they're going crazy. They're gonna be going crazy regardless of the result of their game. I mean, just look at these scenes from Times Square. And right after that, NBA Finals. If the Knicks close it out, guys, it's over. I'm actually gonna be in the city. I'm kind of scared. If they win, it's gonna be chaos, and if they don't, the next game's in New York, and France is playing at the same time. We're done no matter what. It's gonna be bad. I think the craziest part about the Knicks winning the NBA Finals is the fact that this was the first day in America for so many people. Because the World Cup's going on at the same time, a bunch of people arrived in New York City on the same day the Knicks won. I mean, imagine that. It's your first ever day in America. You've never seen this country. You're excited to go walk around town. You get out of your Uber from the airport and boom, there's school buses burning in front of you. People People are destroying everything in sight. It looks like a scene out of a movie. That was shockingly the reality for a lot of people. A really weird welcome to America. I mean, guys, I was even in what is supposed to be a really calm neighborhood in New York City, and even over there was people everywhere. This girl was trying to climb a light pole, then there was this guy. It was nuts. I even talked to someone who was spending their first day in America. They couldn't process it. Just a crazy day. So I recently came across this video of a bunch of fans in Turkey who gathered around a big screen at 7 a.m. so they could watch their team who's playing in America for the World Cup. The thing is, the stream they had up was not actually the game. It was FIFA, the video game, and nobody seems to be noticing. It's literally just some random YouTube stream that they pulled up, and if you look really closely at the movement of the players, you can tell it's a video game. I really wonder how long they watched this for until someone realized that they were not watching the game. Maybe it's for the better though, because in the real game, Turkey got upset 2-0, which was quite unexpected. As a USA fan though, I love this because they're probably the second strongest team in our group, and we have to play them. So that was big. So Kai Cenat recently announced that he's going to be doing Streamer University once again, and this time around he's hosting like in-person tryouts, I guess, and the lines for this thing look unreal. He's doing tryouts in both New York and LA. This is what the line looked like in New York, and this is what the line looked like in LA. I didn't even know this many streamers exist. Personally, I think that waiting in a line like this is just a massive waste of time. Like, if you want to be a top streamer and you have this level of dedication, just use that time to learn how to become the best streamer. Plus, I could be mistaken, but I feel like last time Kai Cenat did Streamer University, there wasn't one person who went from being unknown to actually building a reliable streaming career. There really are no shortcuts when it comes to this stuff, and I feel like these people think there is. Well, guys, we already just witnessed one of the craziest World Cup stories yet, and the tournament just started. Cape Verde, an island nation off the coast of Africa with a population of around 500,000, just went against Spain, a team that is considered one of the favorites to win it all with a population of around 50 million people, and Cape Verde held them to 0 goals. They drew. Now, the craziest part about this is what happens to their goalkeeper. Before that game started, he had around 20,000 followers on Instagram. He ended up having one of the greatest games of his career with 7 saves on some of the world's best players. He's 40 years old, and within hours, his Instagram blew up. Right now, it's sitting at 4.4 million followers. It's got to be the fastest growing profile online today. I haven't seen something like this since Ronaldo created his YouTube channel, and that's Ronaldo. This is a 40-year-old player nearing retirement who nobody's really heard of, who just had a life-changing game. One of the most horrific things just happened at the World Cup. I can't even believe I'm making a video about it. After Japan's 2-2 draw to the Netherlands, the fans were seen trashing the stadium. I mean, just look at this. They brought a bunch of big blue bags full of trash, and they're just setting a bunch of trash down there before they leave. Unbelievable scenes. I can't believe they would just come into America and disrespect it like that. It reminds me of this video of the guy who brought a ton of money to a drive-thru and then just started throwing money into the cash register. Only difference is this guy was an angel. Not those Japan fans, though. Another one of my favorite things about the World Cup, Japanese people experiencing Texas. This guy said it's a yellow school bus that I've only seen in movies. It's the real thing, as if that's like a once-in-a-lifetime experience for him. That's so weird. This guy got some potato chips, and he's curious if that's the normal size in America. To answer your question, it is. Then there's this guy, probably my favorite. He wrote a whole essay about how shocked he was that they gave him chips and salsa for free with his meal before he got the food. He said he stopped the waiter and told him, "We have not earned these." Then the baskets of chips just kept on coming, and he kept on eating. He said, "By the time my actual food arrived, I was a ruined man," and that he had been defeated by a courtesy. I feel like this is something we've all experienced as Americans. It's really just awesome. I'm glad to see they're loving the country. They're also like the best fans ever. They all brought their own trash bags to the game, and after it, they cleaned up. Japan's awesome, man. So I recently spoke about the 40-year-old goalkeeper from Cape Verde and how his Instagram went from 20,000 followers to like 2 million just within the game he played against Spain, where he held them to 0 goals, coming up with 7 saves, some of them being the craziest I've ever seen. Anyways, it hasn't even been 24 hours since I spoke on that, and now his Instagram is at 10.8 million. This dude's life changed insurmountably because of that one game. To put this into perspective, Jalen Brunson, NBA Finals MVP, has 1.8 million followers. This guy, random 40-year-old goalkeeper who had a crazy game, now almost at 11 million, probably gonna hit 15, maybe 20 million. It really shows how insanely big football is. So apparently FIFA just confirmed that they're gonna be allowing Donald Trump to hand over the World Cup trophy to the winning team's captain. He's also gonna be allowed to hang out on stage the entire time as they do celebrations, kind of like he did with Chelsea at the Club World Cup. And he looked like the happiest man ever, but politics aside, you know what would be the funniest thing ever? If Iran somehow won the World Cup. Listen, the odds for that are next to nothing, but Iran is in the World Cup. And hypothetically, if that were to happen, it would be probably the most awkward exchange ever. If you watch my videos regularly, you probably know that I make videos where I make fun of things on Roblox, like this game called Beat Up Homeless Outside 7-Eleven Simulator. Yeah, some evil individual decided to make that game. I mean, how do you come up with that idea? I don't want to know. Anyways, that game has since been taken down, but despite the fact that I've made a lot of videos about Roblox, I've actually never played until today. I called up a few of my good friends and we decided to hop on some of the most popular games. Things got really chaotic. My friendship with Michael almost ended. If you want to check it out, you can find it right here on my channel. So one thing we've been keeping track of on this channel is Elon Musk's net worth. And just a few months ago, I talked about how he basically said he's still depressed even after his net worth crossed 850 billion. Now at that time, Kalshi's odds for him to become a trillionaire before 2027 were 75%. And well, it looks like they were right because now his net worth is 1.3, maybe 1.4 trillion. Guys, we are closer in wealth to the world's second richest person than the second richest person is to Elon Musk. That's crazy. Now Kalshi's showing a 22% chance that he passes 2 trillion before 2027. Now I highly doubt that will happen, but never say never. SpaceX is doing some crazy things. Today I came across this video of a woman talking about a YouTube channel who she's been subscribed to for ages. Basically, she explains that this dude has been posting consistently for like 12 years and that she's been using his videos without realizing he only had 109 subscribers.
I use his piano instrumentals for covers all the time, and I just noticed that he has 109 freaking subscribers.
Now after she put this video out, it performed quite well, and now the Michael's Yamaha 155 channel on YouTube is sitting at 67.3 subscribers. I gave the channel a look myself, and it does look like this guy has been at it for around 12 years. He seems like a super wholesome dude as well. Anyways, I wanted to make a video about this because we gotta push this guy to 100k subs, if not more. Matter of fact, let's see how many subscribers we can get this guy. Go do it. And follow me while you're at it too. I'll post updates. Oh my gosh, guys. I can't believe it. It's actually happening. Rockstar Games just announced, they posted this, that on June 25th, they're gonna be dropping pre-orders for GTA 6. War is almost over. I can't. Oh my god. Holy voice crack. I can't believe it, guys. We also just got this new footage of what Vice City is gonna look like in the game, and honestly, I still can't figure out how this thing is gonna run on base consoles. I also learned about this car tuning company in California that is fully closing their operations on the GTA 6 release date because too many employees called off of work. It's gonna be bad. I don't think anyone will go to work when this game comes out. Today I got really nostalgic for the old look of YouTube, so I decided to rebuild my channel as if it's 2008. Wait till you see this. I started by going on Emergent and basically told it to recreate my channel, but like it's 2008. Then I kind of just let it do its thing for 15 minutes and then boom. Look at that. I even made it live. Like it's a real website you can go and visit right now called John Casterline's channel if it was 2008.com. I am not even kidding. Go check it out. It really is beautiful. The old school logo, the crappy looking blue text, the star ranking system that YouTube had before the like button. Emergent's so cool because I can literally imagine anything and just make it a reality. And apparently I'm late to the party. There's like 6 million people already building actual products on this thing. Real businesses like business dashboards and booking systems. Obviously I made a fun website, but you could genuinely build a full-on software company using this tool. So yeah, if you want to make something from a fun project to a full-on business in just minutes, go check out Emergent at emergent.sh. So the YouTuber Ronaldo is getting flamed right now after his World Cup has been off to a pretty bad start. While Messi scored a hat-trick in his first game of the tournament at nearly 40 years old, Ronaldo struggled heavily against the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and they didn't even beat them. And because of this, he's getting flamed. It's quite funny. I recently came across this article from Dexerto. The title said, DR Congo has secured its first ever World Cup point against YouTuber Ronaldo's Portugal. I stole that from them in the intro. Then there's this comment on Messi's highlights that say, when I was a kid, I wanted to play like Ronaldo, and now Ronaldo plays like me. But my favorite is this fake thumbnail someone made that says, I snuck into a World Cup game and played. Incredible stuff, man. Anyways, I hope this YouTuber gets it together soon. Guys, we just witnessed another one of the craziest World Cup performances of all time. Curacao, a small Caribbean island with a population of around 150,000 people, just played against Ecuador, a country with a population of around 18 million people. And they drew. Ecuador didn't score a goal. The goalkeeper for Curacao, this guy, Eloy Room, who plays in the USL, not even the best league in America, got 15 saves against Ecuador. That is the second most in a World Cup game ever, on a team that was being laughed at for even being in the World Cup. Now, right after the game ended, this guy had around 94,000 followers on Instagram. Guys, it hasn't even been an hour since the game ended. He's at 630,000 now. Every time I refresh, he's gaining like 10,000 followers. It's unbelievable. My guess is I'm gonna wake up in the morning and he'll be at like 2 million. Another guy whose life just fully changed because of one game that the entire world was watching. I wouldn't be surprised if they make this day a national holiday in Curacao. You guys are insane. I recently made this video about the Michael's Yamaha 155 channel and how he recently went super viral after this woman posted a video where she explains that she's been using his piano instrumentals forever and had no idea he only had 109 subscribers despite the fact he's been posting for 12 years. So anyways, when I talked about this, I mentioned he had 67,000 subscribers, then told you guys we gotta push him to 100k. Guys, when I tell you within less than an hour this guy was at 80,000 plus subscribers, I'm not even kidding. Now he's at over 120,000 and I don't doubt it's because of a lot of us. Anyways, let's keep on pushing it. I'm curious to see where we can get this, and also subscribe to me. I'm gonna keep posting updates. Today I'm gonna be trying to find myself on Akinator, the website that can supposedly read your mind. My guess is that I'll do it in under 20 questions. Is your character's gender female? No. Have I really existed? Yes, I have. Am I from YouTube? Yes. Am I a gamer? Not really. Probably not. Is your character black? No. Do I do 24-hour challenges? No. Is your character American? Yes. Do I create music? No. Am I older than 20? Yes. Am I married? No. Do I cuss a lot? No. Am I normally in a chair? Yes. Am I known for making YouTube shorts? Yes. Do I tell stories? Yes. Am I stupid? Hell, why would you ask me that? No. Do I have numbers in my name? Yes. Am I a news reporter? Technically. Oh, it got me. Under 20 questions. That was fast. It's kind of weird because last time I used this website, it took way longer, and you'll see that in this video where I tried to outsmart Akinator. If you want to check it out, you can find that video right here on my channel. Guys, I hate this. A few days ago, this woman from Mexico posted a video that translates to, my grandpa had to watch the match outside the stadium because StubHub screwed us over on the tickets. Basically, she spent thousands of dollars so that her and her grandpa could go watch Mexico play in the World Cup. The tickets didn't work, and the poor grandpa could be watching his last ever World Cup from outside the stadium after the daughter spent thousands to try and make that memory with him. It's heartbreaking. Now, luckily, her video ended up getting like 16 million views, so it did catch the attention of StubHub. People were fuming in the comments. StubHub did eventually reveal in another comment section where people were harassing them, rightfully so, that they're giving her and her grandpa a full refund and new tickets to a Mexico match. But I do wonder, if it didn't go viral on TikTok, would this have happened? I have a good feeling it wouldn't have. So there's a food influencer who's getting totally exposed after reaching out to a restaurant, asking them if they wanted him to review their food, and then after the restaurant was like, sure, we'd love that, he sent them a list of prices. Now after that tweet went viral, another restaurant owner came out and said that he did the same thing to him. But as you can see, he's lowered his prices since, probably because nobody wants to do that. Then he threatened to sue the first guy who posted all this, which is honestly just laughable, because all the guy did was tweet out a picture of what he was sent. If you're gonna be embarrassed about faking reviews for money, you probably shouldn't send that message. I'm honestly not surprised though. This is the same guy who got a ton of backlash where he would make those videos wasting a ton of food. That was years ago and I thought it might have got better, but I guess you could say some people don't change. So a while back, this guy posted about how his Samsung Ring's battery started swelling while it was on his finger, so he couldn't take it off. To make matters worse, he was about to board a flight with a lithium-ion battery stuck to his body. They ended up not letting him board the plane because of this, which kind of makes sense. Then they sent him to the hospital as an emergency. The ring was finally removed at the hospital, and this guy is never wearing a smart ring again. I actually have a smart ring. It's not a Samsung one, thankfully, but a new fear has been unlocked. Some random person just tricked like the entire internet with one picture. Basically, Cape Verde, one of the massive underdogs in the World Cup, scored their first ever World Cup goal. It was this guy, Kevin Pina, who scored it, not to mention absolute banger. And obviously, when you're a massive underdog and you score a goal like that with the world watching, everyone is going to follow you on Instagram. And that's when someone made a fake Instagram account under his name, and within hours, he was already at over 200,000 followers. I caught this like as it was happening, but luckily since then, the account has been taken down. But the dude's actual main account, this account, is only at like 60,000 followers, which kind of sucks. He missed out on a lot. So here's his real account for those of you who want to support. So Ronaldo did it, guys. He scored 2 goals in his recent World Cup game against Uzbekistan, he beat the washed allegations after a really rough first game. But did he really beat the washed allegations, guys? It was Uzbekistan. He scored against a bunch of plumbers. And no, that's not a joke or a figure of speech. One of the guys on the team is actually a plumber. That's right, according to Wikipedia, this guy, Abdullah Abdulev, works part-time for a local plumbing company. I know Wikipedia is wrong sometimes, but if that's true, oh my goodness. I have no clue how this Ronaldo Messi thing is even still a conversation. So fans of Norway's World Cup team have been going viral for a celebration that they call the Viking Row. And I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty awesome. Now, they recently performed probably the biggest Viking row in Times Square because they played a game nearby, and as you can see, it was pretty awesome. But here's the thing. Apparently, there's a yearly yoga session in Times Square where these people do yoga to celebrate the summer solstice, and I don't think they could have picked a worse time to do it, because as they're trying to do yoga, this is going on. To be fair, even without the Viking row, any yoga in Times Square is just a bad idea. So not long ago, this woman went viral for all of the wrong reasons when she was seen dumping out this trash can at the Knicks NBA Finals parade just so that she could steal it and take it home. Here she is on the subway with the trash can looking super happy. Now that video of her dumping it out ended up going viral enough to where people online did their thing and realized she isn't just the average person. She's an executive at JP Morgan. Well, she was, because she got fired. The craziest part is that she was likely making a good 6 figures per year, and she could have just bought the same trash can online for less than $200. But instead, she low-key ruined her life by dumping out the trash can and stealing it. Okay, guys, I recently came across the most ridiculous video I've seen in a long time. It was this woman talking about how she bought chicken tenders on Temu. Real chicken tenders. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, when I saw this, I became so curious that I hopped on Temu myself, saw that there was a bunch of food listed on Temu, and I let my curiosity get the best of me by buying $250 worth of food. Temu food. I don't know why I keep torturing myself. If you want to check out that video where I try all of it, you can find it right here on my channel. So a small town in Argentina just revealed what is apparently the tallest statue of Messi ever made, and it's been going viral because it might also very well be the worst statue ever made. Firstly, looks absolutely nothing like Messi. Secondly, more importantly, why is the trophy placed where it is? Whoever designed this had no business putting it there. They could have put it anywhere else and it would have been better. I mean, if I were Messi and I saw this monstrosity created of me, I'd probably sue for defamation. This is 10 times worse than that one statue of Ronaldo that looked nothing like him. I mean, they literally have Messi bouncing on the World Cup trophy. This is exactly why I didn't go pro. I mean, it's just like, imagine them doing this to me. Guys, we are about to witness one of the funniest coincidences of all time. Basically, with the World Cup being hosted in the USA, the city of Seattle decided that there would be one designated pride match where the entire city and stadium is filled with rainbow flags to celebrate pride. And guys, when FIFA drew teams to be in this designated pride match, guess who was picked? Iran and Egypt, 2 countries where it's highly illegal to be gay. That's right, the gayest sporting event of the year includes 2 countries that hate gays the most. The best part is that both countries tried pushing back on this and getting rid of the rainbows, but they couldn't, and now they just have to deal with it. It's kind of awesome. It's happening tonight, and I can't wait to watch just to see how awkward the players are. So there is currently a random unidentified vigilante in Mexico who's been running around finding motorcycle thieves and then taping them to light posts and just leaving them there. Pictures like this one, and this one have been going quite viral, and as you can see, these guys are wrapped tightly. It makes me wonder, like, who is this guy? How is he able to do this on his own? Now, a lot of locals feel like this guy is an absolute hero, but unfortunately, the police are not treating it that way. Police basically said it doesn't matter that these people were stealing bikes, this guy can't be doing that. Personally, I don't think it's one guy because there's no way one dude is just doing this to someone unless he is big as hell. I wonder if we'll find out though. If we do, I'll keep you guys posted. Mexico's World Cup fans are on a whole nother level. Basically, Mexico has a game scheduled against Ecuador tonight, and since Mexico is one of the host countries for the World Cup, this game is going to be played in Mexico. Because of that, it did not take long for Mexico's fans to find out where the Ecuador national team was staying, and hundreds of these Mexican fans decided to stand outside that hotel all night. Some people took their cars and just honked non-stop. Some people were revving up motorcycles. They had a band out there, some people brought fireworks, and you can see some people standing outside the hotel in the middle of the night, probably so annoyed. Honestly, I feel like the team was prepared for this. This is just an unfortunate case of home field advantage, but honestly, the people I feel the most bad for are just the random people living nearby or staying in the same hotel who have to deal with that noise all night. That would really suck. So by now, you've probably heard about the massive heat wave taking place in Europe and how bad it's been because, well, Europe doesn't really believe in AC. But now people are scrambling into stores and basically fighting each other to try and grab these AC units. I mean, it looks like some sort of Black Friday sale. The heat wave has actually been so bad that it's killed over 1,000 people. It's really a disaster. But over in Paris, there's this woman. She's an official who works for the government, and she decided to blame America for the heat wave, basically saying that it's our fault and the fact that we use air conditioning that caused everything to go wrong in Europe, which is kind of ridiculous. Like, I'm sorry you guys don't have AC, but how is that my fault? Is this her logic? Like, are we just blowing all the warm air over there? I just don't get it. This is an avoidable issue. There really are just two types of fans in the World Cup. I mean, on one hand, you got the Japanese fans who literally cleaned up the stadium after they lost to Brazil. Then on the other hand, you got the Mexico fans who found out where the opposing team's hotel was and stayed there all night making as much noise as possible. They had a band, people revving their motorcycles, fireworks right by the hotel. It got so bad that the Ecuador national team had to file a formal complaint with the World Cup organizers. The thing is, it's hard to know if any of this is actually against the rules, so it'll be interesting to see if anything comes from that complaint.